Fuck around, stuff your body in the trunk. Cruising down while I'm pumping on the blood. Your dumb punks get stuffed in the dump quick. Should've realized not to fuck with the coke bitch. With the coke bitch, you fucking with the coke bitch. Your limbs off and you're crawling on your nuts, bitch. But this coke bitch is with the fucking coke bitch. I'll rip you so loud and leave you motherfuckers stuck. Yeah, I got the jar, wanna see what it can do. What it can do, I thought bizarre and the rage is burning through. Look at the stars, where I got you praying to. When there's nothing ever saving when my craving becomes you. Call me Satan, call me anything, the name don't really matter. Call me happy when I'm splattered and your blowing brain scattered. I'm a savage, I'm a sadist, I'm a sadist, I'm a weirdo. Give a fuck about your streams, your killing spree is still a zero. Bitch, fucking anti-hero, I'm a slasher on the loose and undead. Voodoo masturbating, hanging from a noose. Never calling for a truce, bitch, I'll see you in a grave. If they ever get your body where I got it hid away. Sitting with a sickle and I'm licking on the blade. Taking just keep me twitching, schizophrenia to play. Cooking flesh up in the kitchen and I'm loving every bite. Drama said tattoos and ghosts, he just never cooked them right.
Fuck your white people. Don't know shit about season.
Let's go! Fuck around, stuff your body in the trunk. Cruising down while I'm puffing on the blood. Your dumb punks get stuffed in the dump quick. Should've realized not to fuck with the coke bitch. With the coke bitch, you fucking with the coke bitch. Your limbs off and you're crawling on your nuts, bitch. But this coke bitch is with the fucking coke bitch. I'll rip you so loud and leave you motherfuckers stuck with.
I go by the name of BamBam, Voodoo child. And welcome to my monthly murder memoirs. Seven shines, motherfucker.
Which? Yeah. Whoa, what's up?
Whoa. I found the link. I could share this right quick. Hell yeah.
I can think of a lot of people you should collab with off that song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. People that you would work well with.
No, that song was fun as fuck to do, too. I haven't mixed anything in over a year, and I decided I'm going to start mixing again at least once in a while so I don't completely lose it. And that's the first thing I've mixed literally in over a year now.
I like the name, too. It reminds me of when I used to drink the generic Kool-Aid all the time and shit.
Right. Well, hell yeah, it's a reference to Jim Jones, too. Everybody talks about drinking Kool-Aid there. I'm like, no, they were drinking Flavor Aid, bro. They had the cheap shit.
I mean, shit. They were about to die. I don't know why they didn't just get Kool-Aid.
Right? They might as well have went out big. Like, it's not like they got to save up for some extra bills later or something.
Yeah, fuck.
I hope it at least had the right amount of sugar in it.
They charge rent in hell?
They should.
That's part of what makes it hell.
What up, Big Sherm? Nice. Big Sherm in the house.
Big Sherm in the building. What up, my brother?
What up, Cartoon?
Cartoon in here too. What up, my other brother? I'm not. There's the comments. I had it on the whole private chat. I'm like, how are you talking to these guys? Now I see them. I see Nate up in here too. Hell yeah. Oh, there's. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we got 10 people in this bitch. New record.
And every one of these 10 people, I give a virtual hug to.
Oh yeah. So what was the backstory on that Purple song?
It's mostly just because I'm repping fucking Acid Cult now, and I wanted to think of a fucking clever name to go along with an Acid Cult. And from the hook, there was nothing that really stuck to me as like a dope title. So I'm like, I'm just going to name it something just that's representing this fucking Acid Cult shit, but without having to just like take a random word from it. Like, because I'm not just going to call it like fuck it with the cult. That's too generic. Like, yeah. Sure, I mean, you get real hippies. We need a virtual one. Even if I got to use the tweezers.
Whoop, what up, y'all?
What up?
Hello, sir. Oh, this motherfucker got a hatchet in his head. I love that.
I got it stuck there. I can't get this shit out, you know.
Hell
That's why he
yeah.
acts like he does.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
good to see you.
Penetrate the top layer.
Hell yeah, good to see you, Luke. How you doing, my mans?
Oh, I'm decent, you know, just fucking sweating, greasing around.
It's cool. It's cool. Dude, that is a fucking super dope dark half beanie. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking
Hell
about.
yeah, hell
R.I.P.
yeah.
Gino. Fuck yeah.
R.I.P.
Shit right
Gino,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what up, TZ? That's what's up. Yeah, I see you be repping that acid cult shit. I tried to do a little bit of homework before I hopped on here and shit. So
Oh hell yeah.
you know, I've really been getting into the cartoon and Enoch shit. Like Enoch, he got a fucking special place in my heart. Like fucking something about that dude's flow and his voice that like just to talk to him is probably really exciting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like just to ask him like what time it is, you know, is probably like a
No,
fucking
if he'll answer, sometimes it'll take him fucking forever before you'll even get a reply. You got to get him on the fly and in person. But yeah, he's
Right.
one of those dudes, like, even though he's my brother, not even like blowing smoke or nothing, he's one of the people like on my Spotify list. I keep that shuffle going all the time, just my like songs. And a lot of times when I'm cruising around, I got to hit next. But anytime one of his songs come on, I'm like, I can't hit next on this one.
I just
wanna-
leave it on. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always with that actually. And I talked with him a little bit today. He's gonna come on my stupid little dumb podcast. And I don't really do interviews and shit, so I'm probably just gonna ask him dumb shit like what color his underwear are and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, not real good at this, but I would just kick it. You know what I'm saying? You just kick it.
Right.
So Enoch is fire. Hell yeah, I was on with Don Chaos today, just hopping in his chat, talking some shit or whatever, and I had him playing some Enoch dropped one with him and HB the Grizzly. And
Hell yeah.
Don Chaos, like, oh, I like, you know, HB, that's my homegirl and shit. I was like, oh, fuck it, come on, let's pop that shit on. And I see Donnie Chaos fucking bumping his head a little bit and shit. And I'm like, all right, I think he might have just Enoch might have just got another fan, you know?
Oh hell yeah! I know the exact song you're talking about too, the one where she's singing his name all on the hook and everything.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. She doesn't really do no rapping in it. She just kind of does the hook on it, but she has a fucking she's got a killer voice, and not just rapping and doing shit, but like when she's singing, when she's projecting, she's fucking, she puts it out there. It's a vibe.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Vibe. Yeah. In real life too, like she'll be on stage and it's just like when she's in the fucking studio, like she can perform like that too. Her voice is amazing. Like to see her be able to pull that off through an entire set and knowing that she probably just smoked a fucking shit ton of blunts right there before she went in
she
there.
Just
and
tarred them motherfuckers up. Oh shit. And fucking Zach Pacillo, this motherfucker, he dropped one today. That fucking I've been bumping around and shit. Zach getting back into the music a little bit. You know, I feel like this shit's hard to stick with, you know. So man, props fucking sticking with it because you know, it's an art, and with with a lot of shit, man, a lot of artists, you know, they don't get the recognition they deserve until they're dead. So
I feel that.
You know what I mean? So you're putting your blood and your energy and your sweat and everything into this, your emotions and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, nobody recognizes it until you ain't around no more. You know, look at
right.
You know what? I feel bad because I missed the dark half bus. I was there, you know what I'm saying? I was around and all my homies was into it and shit, but I was like, you know, I was just fucking, oh, you know, that ain't my shit. It was a little dark for me at the time. But like this year, when I left the gathering this year, dark half just, oh no, it was calling me, right? So I started like going down the fucking dark half rabbit hole. And sure as shit, I'm like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? Now I feel bad that I missed out on the bus. And I said, like, I told somebody, I said, well, I feel like Clockwork E, you know, I kind of related them to Dark Half a little bit as far as like the energy of the crowd. Everybody in the crowd saying like, oh, you should hear Clockwork E, you should do that. Like the music's nothing alike, but that energy and the vibe of the people that are getting into it and the following and your friends want you to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the shit with it. I'm like, you gotta hear this.
And Dark Half, they were fucking amazing too. Like Gino himself, I feel like if he could have been around for long enough, fuck some horrorcore shit, just his talent alone, he could have been one of the biggest motherfuckers out there. Like you legit, if he did one of his emotional songs, you can't tell me that shit wouldn't be on the fucking radio. Like
right, as he just said, Graveyard Blues. She got it right there, like that whole Graveyard Blues CD. You know, like I said, I missed the bus at the time, and listened to it. Then I'm like, damn, I'm like really kicking myself in the ass because I'm like, I could have been there for all that and you know, shown the support and shit like that. But you know, it all yeah. And all happy I was too busy hanging out on the fucking drug bridge, you know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
I see Sherm was commenting on the wheel. Fucking hold up, Big Sherm. Hold up, dog.
Just gotta ask, are we gonna have a drug tunnel this year?
Yeah, I think so, right? We'll go graffiti that bitch up anyway, right?
I mean, one way or another.
I doubt they let us in that.
That tunnel's gonna be my fucking like safe haven, man.
Yeah,
Every
I think
time
it's
I
all
was
like
walking by that big ass lifted like treehouse looking thing that was all gated off and shit, I'm like, I want to chill there so bad. And they don't let motherfuckers like that at the gathering though, because they know people are gonna do some stupid shit in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the hippie fests and shit are a little bit different, but the gathering, you know, juggalos just have a different vibe to them, and our give a fucks are just ain't there.
Right.
It's fucking
It was Lost Lands that had the people destroy the dinosaur and hit the dudes with the car.
Shit.
Wasn't the gathering.
The Lost Land fuckers damaged the dinosaur.
Yeah, they busted one of the heads off in 22.
That son of a bitch.
Those fucks.
Whichever individual one that was, that son of a bitch. I sent pictures of those dinosaurs to my kid. He loves dinosaurs.
Yeah, that dinosaur's butthole is famous in the motherfucking juggalo community.
I got a picture of the butthole.
Hell yeah, the family is in the house. Hell yeah.
Past the buttholes and some drugs were very wholesome people.
Hell yeah. Oh, and Wiggles, what up, Dreadlock? I'm sorry if you've seen those memes where I was hitting you with a golf club and shit. That was just a joke, dude. Just a joke. Just kidding. Just kidding.
So, Bam, what got you into music?
What's up?
What got you into want to do music?
Yeah, you've been going for at least a decade plus.
Yeah, even before the stuff that's released, I was doing shit as a kid even. Like, I've just always made music. Like, at one point, I was still living with my grandma, and me and my mom left her when I was like 5 years old, and she tells me stories about me being on the phone with my homie, just like singing, rapping, whatever it was, lyrics to him that I was just making up and shit. And I do that like all the time. And it got to the point, like, as I got older, it just started turning into like, hey, I can actually record now. Like when I was in middle school, we were recording on like cassettes, and it was all super ghetto and shit. Like I'd have a speaker here playing the beat, and then the microphone right over here trying to find the perfect placement. And like we record everything like from beginning to end, all the hooks, all that shit.
One take,
press out tapes. And then when we got to the point we started doing CDs, the whole world changed and shit. But really, it's just like I've always wanted to do music. And at one point, it became like I was going to therapy a lot, and they're like, you should write shit down. And I'm like, if I write these lyrics down, it definitely helps. It feels better that way, and I don't got to like keep a journal or a diary. I can just go into my own head and make my own fucking shit. And then by the end of it, I'm like, I feel better now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know, one thing with all the music, and it's any music really, well, you know, like, you know, rock and roll music or a lot of the rap music and shit, like, you know, the good music comes from traumas, you know. So you go through these fucked up fucking experiences, whether it's a chick or your parents, or, you know, some shit your fucking best friend did to you, you know, whatever the fuck it is. You go through these fucking traumas, and then all this great music comes out of it and shit. Yeah. And you know, you hear it in some artists where when they're hungry and, you know, they're hurt and they're putting their shit out there that's nice and fresh, and then, you know, they start getting out there, and it's almost like they they're doing shit's a little better for them, so their
Right.
music isn't as good because they're not struggling like they were, so it doesn't have the emotion behind
Still
it. You know, it's hard to hold on to that.
Cocaine,
I can definitely,
man.
like, I 100% see that, because there's certain shit that I've written when I'm in like my worst state of mind, like ready to just fucking kill everybody around me, kill myself, just end the shit, and I'll write a song about it and just fucking let it all out. And then it ends up being one of the songs people always want me to do on stage and shit like that. And I got to go
You're like,
up
I cry
stage
every
and, like,
time.
have a panic attack and like relive the shit over and over again. And it's like, I'm past that. I don't really want to fucking live that
I wrote
moment
this
again.
song about how much I hate everybody in the crowd. Fuck.
That's what it turns into. And I'm like, I like you guys though. Like everybody that's out in the crowd, I'm like, you're my people. I'm not trying to come off like an asshole, but I'm up here screaming, fuck everybody.
Individually, I love you. As a group, fuck you.
Right.
As a group, fuck you. No, yeah.
It's like, I don't mean you guys.
Luke.
I mean the people back behind you outside.
Yeah, not you guys. I mean the other crowd. You know, yeah,
Right.
Right. You know, and that's what it is, though. You know, because you're trying to reach people, of course. You know what I mean? It's an art. You want it to be relatable for people. You know what I mean? But there's got to be a balance of like, okay, you know, I want to get my art out there, but I'm not just doing it to get my art out there and do it. It's got to have emotion to it. It's got to have meaning to it. You know, like, that's what's great about a lot of the underground artists is when you hear a song and, you know, you listen to shit or whatever, and you can talk to them and you can say, hey man, well, you know, this song really helped me deal with some shit. And you know, what was you talking about? What was you going through with all that? You know, you know, it's cool in the underground that you can talk to these people like that and get their vibe for it.
Everyone can relate to that type of shit too. And it's the type of thing, like, we'll sit down, find me at a show, I'll sit just like this, I'll fucking smoke with you, we can chop it up, shit like that. Like a lot of these motherfuckers that are like want you to pay for like extra VIP meetings and shit like that. Like I'm nowhere near that type of thing. You can talk to me about your day still, and I'm gonna listen to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's one thing that I always want to fucking keep. I can't stand when they get that big headed that they're like, oh, the fans don't matter anymore. The shit becomes a number. I'm like, no, I've been with these motherfuckers forever, and these are the ones that have always supported me. I'm not going to be on that type of shit. Like, I still talk to, if somebody supported my music in high school, I still got love for that motherfucker to this day, and I'll still give him a what's up once in a while if I see him. Like, it's whatever.
So you wouldn't trade Juggalos for 100 mainstream fans?
Never.
Yeah, and you know, like you say, you know, you never know, because even at that, you know, everybody's got haters and shit too, and you know, dealing with all that shit, dealing with the extra bullshit that comes along with it, because now you're putting yourself out there for criticism. You know, you're putting it out there for people to say, oh, that motherfucker's talking about this and that. Well, he ain't that fucking hard. He ain't doing that shit. Or he ain't fucking, you know, like, you know, fuck all that though, man. You know, you got to put it out there. You said, you know, it's half for the people that are going to listen to it, and half for your therapy, and you need to get it off of your chest. You know, fuck yeah.
No, I feel like it's the type of thing anybody should find that type of creative outlet, whether it's like writing or drawing or fucking find some way to just let that out, because we all got these fucked up thoughts. Don't let that shit be all pent up inside though, because that's when motherfuckers eventually explode. Like all it takes is a couple bad days for somebody to snap. So if you just keep yourself like flowing, never let that build up happen in one way or another. And music's just the way I do it. Nobody gets hurt. I don't got to yell at nobody. I don't got to start a fight with my wife.
Right. And you can talk about whatever the fuck you want, and fucking, you know, and get it off of you. You know, get it out of you. Even, you know, I was talking about like doing this podcast shit. It's really been therapy. You know, I've been a juggalo for fucking 30 years or whatever. You know, it's been a long fucking time. Been to 21 gatherings. But I'm just kind of new to the YouTube internet shit, because it was like, you know, it's therapeutic for me to get out here and talk to some of the other people. You know what I mean? You know, listen to some different shit. That's all I listen to, really. I don't really listen to hardly any mainstream shit. You know, I'm always looking for that next thing that's coming out or whatever. You know, something, a lot of it's fucking, you know, you could give or take, you know, take it or leave it or whatever. It's got a lot to do with making it sound good. That's why I listened to a couple of your things, and I'm like, all right, this is put together pretty well. You know, it's got a good
Hell
production value to it and shit. You know, man, fuck you, TZ, bitch. Somebody ban that bitch out the chat. No, I'm just kidding.
This man has a hatchet in his head. He's already having a hard day.
Yeah, it's been a day, Tease. Come on, man. So where are you at? Like, where you live at? Where you from?
Lansing, Michigan's where I'm at now. I've been here for like 7 or 8 years now, something like that. But yeah, I've also lived in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Canada. Like, I've been all over the fucking place.
Shit, all right, yeah.
How often you run into the big guys?
The big guys, the clowns.
Yeah.
Never really out here. What's up?
I said no, like Eminem, Big Sean.
Oh no, no, I never really run into anybody, but I also don't do anything. Like, I sit at home, I go to work. Like, if there's shows, I go to other people's shows because one of the underground spots that everybody performs at here is Max Bar, and it's like 5-10 minutes away from the house. So anytime something's going on there, I'll pop in. Like, I just went and checked out my homie Squints and Mandy's show there, and they fucking killed it. I think it was Saturday night. And
what's the name?
Squints and Mandy.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I ever heard of them or whatever, man.
What kind of music they make?
They're hip hop. They don't do anything like horror and nothing like that, like what I fuck with. But just as like straight hip hop shit, they're super talented and they kill shit on stage. So like anytime I get a chance to catch them, I definitely go out there. What's up?
How many of them are there?
It's just 2. It's a dude named Squints and his girl named Mandy. They're a couple.
Okay.
I've heard of Squints before.
Yeah. He's fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, I know your subs went up one today because I went and checked that shit out and I fucking scribed. You know what I'm saying? I'll keep an eye out. That's what it is. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. You know, and that's what this underground shit is too. Is it's a lot of you know, a lot of word of mouth and a lot of your friends pressing it and being like, hey man, you fucking heard this dude, you listen to this dude's shit, man. Like you know, you could put out 100 tracks and you know, maybe, you know, as long as one of them hits somebody to get them talking to somebody else, and then somebody else hears it and they're like, oh, I like all of this, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of word of mouth shit. I see Big Sherm was up in the motherfucking chat too or whatever, which I kind of just started, you know, Andy Sherman been around fucking juggalos forever, you know, but I ain't never really like checked out his music or nothing. Oh, look, at TZ just scribed, just got another one. Good job, TZ.
Big Sherm's my fucking brother. Me and him, we actually got an EP together that's going to be dropping. We just put the details of that. It's going to be called Bad Friday, and we're dropping it on Good Friday. We're going to be rocking an AXE show April 18th here in Lansing. And we're going to perform that shit. Anyone who gets tickets off us gets a copy of the CD when they get there. And
that's fucking dope.
Like, Sherm went on some straight wicked shit with me, and it's fucking fresh.
Where's it available
like,
online?
What's up?
Where's it available online?
Right now, there's not even an official flyer yet. We like just got the tickets in, just the AXE tour flyers up right now. But if they don't have something up themselves in the next day or so, then I know I'm gonna have something up.
For sure.
Right. And that's what it is.
You got digital tickets for this one, so we already got them. So anybody that needs them, we can fucking email them. I guess that's the future thing that motherfuckers do these days.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. What, and that kind of bummer too, because you know, back when I started going to shows back in you know, fucking 96 and shit, you know, I mean, we got ticket stubs, you know, and we put them, you know, have a little collection going and shit, and anymore it's all QR codes and bullshit. So
no, it's like, and I don't know, on the one hand it is a headache, it's a lot of gas, but I also love the hustle of driving around selling tickets, and I'm like, you just cut my throat on that. Like, it's one of the things, like, I work a shitty ass night at work, and I know I'm gonna get out of work, I'm gonna turn on some music, I'm gonna drive to somebody's house, we're probably gonna smoke down right quick, we're gonna get some tickets passed off, I'm gonna fucking drive home, be in a better mood and shit. Like, and now I got these digital tickets. I'm like, I send you a picture of your little square barcode thing, and we call it a day.
It's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. Or like when you go out to the venue and it's like, oh, you know, who are you which artist are you buying the tickets through, you know, and you got to go in there and pick an artist. And some people don't give a shit and they just say, oh, whatever, click whoever's on the top. But there was some pride that went along with that, being like, you know, when you go to the place and you're turning in your dough and shit gets early, and they're like, well, shit, man, you know, you sold fucking 55 tickets, and you know, the people that are, you know, going on after you and shit, and supposedly a bigger name, but they only sold, you know, 12 tickets, and you know, there was some pride that went along with that and shit. You know, it's tough. He's out. The EP drops April 18th and not available online yet. Yeah, that's dope to give out a physical CD though. With a ticket purchase and shit, because that's just not cheap. It's not cheap to press CDs, and even like you said, like doing the you know, if they don't have a flyer out, well, you're gonna have to sit and fucking draw, you know, get up a fucking flyer. You know, it takes time, it takes effort to do that shit.
Well, me and Sherm were already ironically talking about it today, and I'm gonna put together a flyer either way in the next day or so, but I'm assuming there'll be an official one up soon. Like the date's listed on the tour, but I think an event page got posted today too.
You got a rough idea how many shows you've done?
Since I went back to solo, I believe like I actually have a book.
There's a motherfucker that's halfway organized. All right, I just started writing shit down. I've been doing this podcast for 3 months. I'm like, I better start writing shit down, you know?
Yeah, I got a little
notebook. I'm stupid. I don't
remember.
Oh shit! Oh, my rod up in there. What up, dog? And Crystal Springs.
And the reason I have this book is I do a different set every time. Like I might perform some of the same songs once in a while, but I make sure it's never the same thing. So if I do like back-to-back shows and you come out both times, you're gonna get something different both nights.
And let me ask you on this, whatever, because artists do this a couple of ways when they play their shit. Some people take their vocals out and they have, you know, the hook playing in the back or whatever, because of course, you know, you got to have your catch your breath and all that shit, whatever. And some people just come right on and just rap right over their CD and their vocals and stuff, which, you know, either way, a lot of times you can tell when the mic's working, because you know, as a fan, I'm looking for them fuck ups. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for that fucking you don't hit the bar right, or you know, you come in or you run out of breath and you can't fucking hit it. You know, like that's the shit that makes it authentic. You know,
right? I see my brother Enoch's in here too, but
oh hell yeah!
When it comes to that, my main shit is I definitely do show versions for everything I do. That's fresh as fuck. Like I keep the hook and I keep my punches in, but I take out all the main vocals, all that type of shit. But a lot of time the punches, it'll have like certain like distortions and effects going on and shit. And I'm not trying to take that out of the song. So I'll keep that type of shit there. And also like the majority of the sets I do, I don't got a hype man. So it's cool to have like, especially the hooks, a little second I can catch my breath and shit like that. But I know there's not really a right or wrong way to do it, because some of the big ass celebrity people don't make show versions for their stuff and they're making millions of dollars doing great. So like it's basically a preference thing. But I also think the way, like you said, you're listening for fuck ups and shit. That's one thing I like about not having my vocals there is if I start losing lines, sometimes I'll just jump in and make shit up. And as long as it's rhyming and making sense, I'll just flow with it. And I love it when people are out in the crowd and somebody comes up to me after that really knows my shit. And they're like,
and that's how you know if they know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how you know if they know it. Yeah.
Because anybody, like 99% of the time, the whole crowd will just be like, hell yeah, you did great. Not everything was good. That was smooth as fuck. I just wait for that one person who actually knows the lyrics to be like, you still killed it. That was great, but that's not the words.
Hey, look at that. Aura and vibe will outshine a poor performance. You know, don't be karaoke rapping like 99%. Well, and like you said, even at that, like you can usually tell when somebody's on it. You know what I'm saying? You can hear the voice coming through it. It's not like you're just there listening to the CD or whatever.
Right.
But the energy and the vibe of things. I seen Enoch in cartoon at the Clockside show, and those guys just fucking killed it. Like the energy, you could feel the energy shift when those guys got on stage. Like it wasn't even nothing, like they didn't even have to be saying anything yet. It was, you felt the energy, the stage presence, just the you know, you're like, oh, these guys are professionals.
It's like some fucking magic shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, what up, Gold? It's a whoop, motherfucking whoop. That's what up. Got this fucking chat popping and shit, chat fapping over there and shit.
So playing the Gathering this year, you had quite the thing going on during your set. Were you expecting something close like that, or was that more than what you thought was going to happen?
I expected it's the Gathering, so I don't necessarily have anything that I can really say I know is going to happen. I didn't have that in the cards anywhere. That definitely wasn't on the list. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
know
was
shit
fucking
could be
sitting
crazy.
there on the front gate tripping balls, dude, and I'm fucking sitting there. I
Right.
was like, where the
Well,
fuck
that's
is
what I expected to
everybody
see. I
going?
knew I was playing late as fuck at night, so I was like, it's gonna be a lot of people that are just tripping. It's gonna be late at night. Everybody's gonna already ate their mushrooms, be on their fucking acid, be rolling off their fucking face. And at this point of the night, and I had a blood moon over me, so I'm like, it's just gonna be a bunch of people fucked up. I didn't expect it to be a train. I was not upset about this though. This shit was one of the best moments of my fucking career. Nothing will ever top it. I've done it almost every song. I've done it almost every set since then, just trying to like almost recreate it in my own mind.
Right.
At Gorefest, all the homies fucking a blow up doll named Judy. That was pretty close, but there hasn't been another train yet. And
Yeah, I remember that. You're right.
Hey,
Now,
look,
the fuck
train
I
at
had
every
to
show.
I set.
it was the wildest shit. And yeah, like Sherm saying that nom nom. I saw footage of it after that one of the homies got, and he just like was showing. He's like, "Did you realize like people were like?" Because I didn't know exactly what went on. Like I saw from the stage, it was a bitch and two dudes. I didn't realize people were lining up and taking turns or what the fuck was going on. And I saw a dude while he was getting blown. At one point, he starts singing nom nom nom. And I'm like, this is fucking
like,
beautiful right now.
You're
I'm
like, is anybody
that's
getting
pretty
this? Is anybody recording this? Yeah, that's great. That's fucking great. Hey, look at Gold says, I know the homie who started. Just say it was you, Gold. It's cool. Nobody cares. You know,
Whoever
it's
he
not
is,
first
he
or
is a
last.
fucking legend in my eyes. 'Cause I will never forget that set. Thanks, man. I need to get them worked on. I'm not even taking the hat off right now because they need some work.
Yeah, you definitely killed that set too. I enjoyed it.
It was so much fun. I loved that I was at a place where I could finally play with blood again too. Like most of the places I go, I know I can't just be dripping blood. I'm like, this is the Gathering. They're not gonna give a fuck here.
They don't give a fuck what's
They prefer
happening.
the
Hey,
blood.
Yeah,
Was
that
that-
was my first time seeing you live. So that
Oh,
was
word?
good. Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, that would definitely be a good spot for the first one, I feel like.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Enoch said, he says, I recorded it. All right. Fuck yeah, man. Send that shit to Lee. Let's watch it. We love to watch it.
Motherfuckers out here just throwing
Tim
themselves
was
under the
the
bus.
first
I
one
wasn't
up in
trying to
there.
say no names and shit. But yeah, there is a poster.
Self
and it's
snitching and
hilarious.
shit.
Turned into a poster and sticker. I don't know why, but I want to know, is it like a cutout sticker where it's like to the shape, you know? Or is it just like a round sticker with the picture on it?
I think it's a rectangle if I remember what it looked like.
See, there should be one where it's like cut out, so it's the silhouette too.
That would be hilarious. I really want to shoot a num num video, and at some point in there's going to be a train just in the background. Like everything's gonna be super serious. It'll be a super fucking bloody ass fucking cannibal video because that's what the song is. But somewhere in the back, there's gonna be a train, and only the juggalos will understand why.
Right.
In the middle of just corpses and blood.
Right.
Train.
A train of corpses.
It's me and Toon behind her. You know, you guys are over there like,
Right. No, that shit was beautiful.
Yeah, you could have like dead bodies like in the same positions that they were at the Gathering.
Right. I'll be eating ass.
yeah. And you know what? Like you were saying, even like doing the video thing. So, okay, in today's digital age of shit, okay, you know, when I first started going to gatherings and shit in the early 2000s and going to shows, it was everybody passing out CDs, trying to get on their shit. You know, you're talking MySpace days and shit, you know, so everybody's passing out their CDs and shit, trying to get their shit out there. And now it's like, nobody even does CDs anymore, really. It's a rarity. You know, they don't even have to do CDs. Everything's all digital and shit.
Right.
And that even at that, it's like, well, you need a video to go along with your shit, or you're not, you know, you're not getting the recognition you should, or you know what I mean? It's just not getting out there.
Yeah,
you got to have a little shock value with it.
Yeah, if it's not online in general, people don't pay attention. Like the last LP I just dropped it in November, and I still haven't put it online because I'm like, I'm going old school with this release. This one's gonna sit for a while, and anyone who wants a CD, I got you. But there's been 2 songs go online because I dropped a single on Spotify and I dropped a lyric video on YouTube. But other than that, it's a full
That's
ass
super
LP
dope
that
too.
I'm like, people are just gonna wait for because I miss the days of having to go to the store and buy a CD. But the only problem with it that I'm realizing is a lot of people don't even have CD players anymore. So
I got one in the car,
at this
but not
point
at
is
the
anyone
house.
who got the CD, I'll fucking email you the digital copy so you can still listen to it. But
everybody got like an Xbox or something they could throw that bitch in though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. At the same time I talk shit, but I could put it in my PlayStation. But I'm mad as fuck because when me and my wife got a car a couple years ago, I was literally walking around the lot. I'm like, I want something with a CD player. And they're like, we don't even have that anymore. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, what world are we living in? Like,
that's not factory anymore, man. That's an upgrade.
Yeah, I'm like, this is bullshit.
Doesn't come standard. But the lyric video thing, now that's super cool because a lot of times when, you're listening to music, people are spitting, I'll give you an example of Scum. All right.
Yeah.
I wish every video Scum should have lyrics with his videos because I have such a hard time understanding what this motherfucker is saying. Like I gotta really listen to it.
Right.
And but the lyric video thing, a lot of times, or even like with ICP, I've seen shit where I thought they were saying one thing this whole time, and then I seen a lyric video. I'm like, that's what the fuck they're saying. Like I thought they were saying some whole other shit.
I've been rapping some goofy shit for like 6 years.
Yeah, be like, I've been saying this my whole life, and nobody corrected me.
nobody stopped me, right?
I shout that line in people's faces. Why has nobody said something?
Right.
But that lyric video stuff, when you see the words popping up with it, you know what I mean? I'm a fan of the lyric videos and stuff, even if they're not all super fancy and flashy and other shit going on, but just being able to visualize the words as they're coming out, it kind of hits you a little different, for sure.
The homie Thick Chris did it up sick too, because instead of just like a normal one that's just like some graphics and some lyrics and shit, like we actually met up after a show one night. I had my face paint all smeary like I just murdered somebody and shit, and we just like rapped it outside the venue. And so there's footage of me actually like rapping the shit, but then the lyrics are all over the screen too. So it's not like a full-fledged music video with a whole bunch of like transitions and crazy shit going on, but it's like a step over a music video. I mean, a step over a lyric video, but under a music video type shit, like somewhere in the middle.
My favorite type
yeah, that's dope.
Image behind it, like Suicide Boy shit. They always
and that's where he was really talking about. He was wanting to do this type of shit. It's like videos like that. And so he's done a lot of them with cartoon now. I think he shot some with Enoch. Like he did a good few lyric videos for a while now. I think Hearst Boy is about to just drop one, or he just did. And he's been killing that shit.
Yeah, I know they dropped that video they filmed at the Gathering a couple days ago and shit or whatever.
Yeah, that Wicked Clown Love.
Yeah. And like I said, like it's always fun to see people fucking around and doing shit like that at the Gathering and shit anyway. But mad props to Thick Chris because he's putting shit out there, and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of fucking cameras and shit like that. That shit ain't fucking cheap. You want a good fucking camera, you better put a comma in your motherfucking budget. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit is not cheap. So to have the equipment like that, to do the shit like that, and to put it in, and it's one thing to have a vision and get everything recorded. And then it's another thing to put that into a 2-minute movie, if you will, to try to like, convey that whole story and make it beautiful. Yeah. Because of course anybody could fill the space, but to make it beautiful and, the things I've seen from him or whatever is kind of like, all right, this guy's putting in the work with it. He's putting his shit in,
That dude, they call him a wizard for a reason. He's a fucking genius. Like from his videos to his like beat production to like he mixes people's projects and he kills it. And he does a lot of the graphics, like a lot of the shirts you see them rocking and shit like that. Like he did that. Like this motherfucker just does everything.
Yeah. And it takes time. I think, and it's one thing if, okay, I'm sure he's been doing it a long time, and I just kind of recently heard of him in this shit. He's just starting to make some waves around, you know, with me anyway. And I'm like, all right, you know, I recognize this shit, but this shit got to take time. It's also an art, and it takes time to learn and to know how to, like you said, even like, you know, doing transitions and doing whatever, how to fill in the places, how to stretch out a video, how to shorten down a video. You know what I mean? And like you say, he's done stuff for Scum, fucking Omnicide. All right, Same Poetry, Smalls one. Yeah, that's good.
Nah, he's been killing it.
Enoch said he dropped Thick Chris doing a video for Poison. All right, I like it.
Swill, you're kind of putting the work in for us. I like it.
I'm excited. I like this acid cult shit, man. I told you I fuck with Enoch. That shit steady stays in my fucking rotation. Cartoons, all right, you know. But yeah, I like that shit, man. That shit fucking you know, and like I said, especially the Cartoon got a couple of dope videos and shit, and he came and sat with me on the podcast for a little bit, and we was watching some of that shit, and you know, like I said, like you can see it in there where it's like all right, man, you know, this guy's putting in work with it. He's got some knowledge of it, and got to have some good equipment and shit. You know, it's a lot to do it for sure.
Just a little.
And his shit's definitely always polished. Like even anything rough he sends me is like a reference that we're gonna do a song together or something. I'm like, this already sounds better than what I'm gonna fucking do. Like,
it feels
like just quality wise. I know once Chris touches it, we're all gonna sound like equal and shit, like level wise and mix wise and shit. But I'm like, how is this rough? My rough sounds rough. Like,
right. Well, and doing shit with somebody that you see them doing it, you know, you've seen them put out some stuff and you're like, okay, you know, it almost makes you want to step your game up because you're like, okay, well now I'm with this motherfucker and I ain't going to give him no bullshit to work with. I'm going to give him a good quality, you know, product to work with here. You know, and everybody kind of boosts each other up with it. You know, that's
exactly.
It's a great thing, really. You know, it's good to have because you got to push each other. You know what I'm saying? You got to, Hearst Boy got to put some shit out that you're like, oh shit, all right, well, he lit that up. Well, now the next shit I put out better be at least, you know, I need to feel like it's at least as good as that, you know?
You got to be like, I got to keep up with all these motherfuckers, even if it's not, even if you're not trying to be like, oh, I got to be better. You got to be like, oh, well, they're dropping this. Well, I got to drop at least something. Come on now.
It's not like official, but somebody always sets the bar.
Right. At the same time as a collective, it just keeps shit flowing all the fucking time. Like I've been trying, it's been taking me forever because I don't got time to sit down and do it. But I've been trying to build an Acid Cult playlist on Spotify. And this motherfucker's already like 2.5 hours long, and I'm not even fucking done with it yet. I'm still picking through shit and adding shit, and there's too much. There's too much. You could literally just rock the shit all the time, and you wouldn't get bored.
Yeah, like you said, and every time an Enoch song comes on, there is no skip for me. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm like, oh, go turn this up a little bit. You know, it's good to have that vibe and have somebody that you're working with, because you know you got to respect these people too, the people that you're working with and shit. You can't go around thinking like you're better than all of them and all. This guy, you know, we're working together, but like, oh man, well, you know, I got better bars than him, or I got, you know, like, no, you got to work with people that you respect and shits because it makes you better. It is like
absolutely. Yeah, that's why like I'm trying not to do too much group shit because I lived that life for a while and it's a little bit of a headache. I usually like I got my brothers, but I still musically focus on solo shit. But this shit me and Sherm been doing though lately, like I told him today, like the EP's finished already and I've been listening to it a lot. And I'm like, this isn't the last project we're gonna do together though. Like it's the type of thing like you're saying, when you got somebody there with you, sometimes it just drives you to make even fucking killer shit. So like it just works out. Like I love being able to do something with my people. I don't really be reaching out to strangers for collabs. Like I don't care how big they are. I don't go out paying for collab shit.
I don't want no money. Right. Don't want to pay
I'd
no
rather
money.
make a song with somebody I genuinely know and fuck with. So I know that we can like talk and communicate and build something instead of just be like, here's fucking $300. Give me 16 bars. Like
spit me right. Because you can always tell also when they're recording a shit if it's like you said, like, okay, you pay them, they're in one studio recording their shit, and you're in the studio recording your shit, or you're together and working together and going, oh, hey man, when you come in like this, I'm gonna come in behind you and
Right.
work together to do it and build it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's different. It's different.
And it's nice
you're
just to
late.
have somebody to bounce ideas off of too. Because sometimes even when I'm by myself writing some shit, I'll be like, "Is this fucking stupid?" I gotta like wait around for somebody to be like, let them listen to it and shit. Like have the wife listen to it, be like, "Is this dumb? Like, should I just scrap this?" And 90% of the time, people are like, "Nah, just fuck with it a little bit." But sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. I need somebody else's ears for this shit. Like even the single I just dropped for fucking Purple Flavor Rate and shit. Like I sent that shit off to fucking Thick Chris before. I'm like, I haven't mixed stuff in forever, bro. Like I just gotta know, is this all right and everything? And he gave me a couple tips. I did a couple mixes after that. I sent it to. I had listened to it. The wifey. I made sure she heard it in the car. I passed it to a few different people just before because I'm like, just gotta check.
And that's another thing too, right? You have to listen to it in the car. You have to put it on the phone. You got, know, because your headphones in your studio, your shit's one thing. But when you put it in the car, it might sound completely different, or you hear it on the phone and it's completely different. Hey, I like that profile pic, D. Sweet.
To test that shit in the car.
Yeah, because the levels on the shit or the mixing master or whatever it is, that makes a fucking hell of a difference in shit when you hear it of whether you want to listen to it or whether it comes on and you skip it or you're going back or you're showing your friends and shit like that. You'll go, oh hey, listen to this. You put it on and you hear in the background and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like and they're like, hey, maybe this ain't as good as I thought.
I'm like, I got shit that goes up from like how he was saying from like 2011 and shit. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't really be promoting that shit because as soon as somebody comes across that as one of my first songs, and that might judge them forever, and then they never hear the new shit. And I'm like,
yes, yeah.
I don't delete it.
Like I said, I'm guilty of that with artists.
Fans, but
I'll say off what I know of you. Fucking, I like your newer shit more. It's no hate on your old shit, but you've definitely like evolved, man.
I didn't know what I was doing back then.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just talking shit into a mic. I didn't know.
Right.
It does. It takes even like the rap. Hey, anybody can rhyme words and shit. Anybody can Dr. Seuss it the fuck up, but are you telling, and that's one thing that I like about Enoch's music. And I'm sorry if I'm on his fucking dick again. I'm sorry. I'm Enoch's fucking bell end over here. But my man really knows how to manipulate the words and make it metaphorical and interesting to listen to. Wishmaster was one of the first ones that I heard from him. I just got hip to him a couple months ago and shit. And he says some shit about you can't touch him with fucking laser beams from the Death Star or whatever. And I'm like, holy shit, that destroyed a planet. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, and that didn't even scratch it. Holy shit! Like, all right, you know what I mean? I'm fucking digging that. and it is that's what the rapid thing is, though, is you're telling a story. You're trying to you're trying to paint a mental picture for somebody when you're relaying your shit, and that's why I'm like, you know what I mean? A lot of it when the metaphors are there and the wordplay and shit is there, like that's the kind of rap that I like to listen to. Is I like to listen to shit that almost makes me want to like go back and be like, wait a minute, what the fuck did he say? Well, I'm gonna fucking Google what the fuck that is. What the fuck's he talking about? You know what I mean? I don't listen to that rap. I gotta Google the lyrics and shit to understand it.
Jerking off the atmosphere lyrics over there.
Yeah, dad rap. I'm all about atmosphere. Don't be fucking with me now. I'm on that rhyme sayers shit.
Oh shit, man!
When the kids are around,
you doubt my rhyme sayers loyalty.
I saw D17 Ryder talking about that Occult Rejects podcast. That was a fun dope.
Yeah, what was that about? Yeah, I seen him mention something about it, but I'm not hip to that. What's that about?
Yeah, we
Put us in
basically just chopped it up for a while, like the way that we are, and they were super fucking cool and everything. Like,
cooler than us. Is that
I
what you're
love them
saying?
guys. They were super cool. It was a good time. Anybody I
Yeah,
can just
yeah.
sit around and get high and chop it up with, I'm like, you're my
Have a good
people.
night, Rod. Whoop, whoop.
Hell yeah. Oh, peace out, Rod. Thanks for fucking popping in and shit.
When was
Appreciate it.
that with the Occult Rejects?
I think it was a few months ago, if I remember. All my times kind of blended all together. I know it wasn't too long ago.
Hey, and look at and D, yeah, but D says I never heard of them until you was there or whatever. So fuck yeah, all right, that's what it is. It all comes back around full circle.
It was meant to be. The stars aligned.
That's right. That's right. And I believe in a little bit of that shit, right? Like the fate and there's only so many possibilities or whatever. So
Right.
And like I said, with the underground shit, a lot of it is word of mouth or your friends sharing this shit. And even if I'd be sharing shit all the time or whatever, but then I also know that like if I really want somebody to hear something, I have to be like, yo, you need to check this out. Not just I'm just sharing this on the shit. I'm like, yo, you need to listen to this. This is my fucking guy. This is you're gonna love this stuff. You almost have to get somebody's attention and look them right in the eyes and say, hey, because you share it to 100 people. Of them 100 people, 10 of them listen to it. Of the 10 of them that listen to it, one of them actually likes it.
Yeah, because there's so much out there. Like there's so much out there these days, and a lot of it really is dope too. Like it's not even like there's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of dope shit. Much love, my brother. I shall see you soon.
It's like keep the Voodoo Summit. Hell yeah, I'm gonna see you on the 28th. And I'm going to shout out your birthday on the 21st. Happy birthday, Enoch. Everybody send him a present.
Hell yeah. We just celebrated at the fucking yesterday at the Acid Cult birthday party.
Fucking dope shit, man. Dope shit. Like, and you know what? Like, you're doing this stuff. This is, you're putting your sweat and your fucking energy and everything into it. It becomes your life. This is what you're doing, and you got to focus so much energy on putting this shit in. And, you're trying to balance your home life with fucking playing shows and recording and doing this video and doing that. It's hard, man. It is. It's real fucking hard to get it out there like that and balance it.
Like usually even stuff like this is hard because the majority of the time I got a kid running around about to be 4 in February. And so he's all over the place. And right now he's staying at his grandma's house. So I got a little bit of silence around me and shit. But I've done interviews before where literally I'm like, I can't make him leave.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on.
And I pop him up on my knee and I'll still talk to everybody like whatever. Like it's all good. But sometimes he just has to be there with me. He's super daddy's boy.
Yeah, and that's a great thing too.
What's up?
That's the way my 5-year-old is. If he knows I'm on camera or something, he has to come make his presence known.
He'll come over. If he was up here right now, he'd say hi to all y'all. He'd be sitting here like, hi.
Maybe but that's another thing too. So when you're an artist and you're talking all this crazy shit and you're doing this, and of course, like, we're fans of the underground, so we know what it is. We know that, like, yeah, we're talking all this crazy shit or whatever, but that's not who you are. You know what I'm saying? If you was really out there fucking eating people and shit, you wouldn't be sitting here talking to us about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but then there's the other people that don't understand that. And you almost don't want to, you don't want people to see your kids. Like, I'll post pictures of my kids and shit on Facebook or nothing, or let them come around the camera because, that's separate from what I do here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to mix those two up,
I'll do it on my personal page, but not my music page very often. Every once in a while, he'll be on there because there's sometimes that are just super cute. Like, he'll sing Nom Nom with me. I wrote that. As fucked up as it is that fast forward to the gathering and people performed a train to that song, I wrote that song feeding my kid when he used to just eat baby food. And I was just sitting there scooping him fucking food going, nom, nom, nom. And I wrote that whole ass hook while I was feeding him. And now people do trains to it. They should be ashamed of themselves.
You're so happy about it.
I feed my kids to that song.
You had to remember where it came from.
Right. My kid sings that song now. He'll walk around the house, be like, "What a great day to eat some brains."
Like,
Hey,
We better start singing
unfortunately,
that in school
I'm unfortunately gonna have to dip out for the night, but
for sure.
it was fun hopping on here. Wish I could stick around a bit longer.
Well,
You're
hell
good.
yeah, believe in yourself.
I'll make
oh
sure to
yeah,
hop
good to see you, Lucas, for sure.
on when I got time. Fucking
For sure.
Whoa,
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop.
whoa. Yeah, and you know, like even like doing just like doing shows and shit like that, because you know, fuck, I've been going to shows for a long time, man. You know how many shows I fucking went to that fucking Wolfpack didn't show up, or
Right.
you know, whoever fucking you know, because it's hard. You know, you commit to doing a show. It's not like you're getting paid a bunch of money to do this shit, and there's a
A
bunch
lot
of
of
you know
times,
shit.
not at all.
A lot of times not at all, right? You're doing it for
Right.
the exposure and to get out
Yeah.
there and promote yourself. So it's like, okay, well, now I gotta take a day off of work and pay for the gas to drive fucking 6 hours to go to this show, and you know, maybe I have to get a hotel room also, and I'm gonna have
Right.
to eat. So it's not just like we're cooking dinner for everybody. No, I'm paying $20 at fucking Applebee's to eat and shit, and
Exactly.
it costs you money. To perform a show. Not only are you not getting paid, but it's costing you money.
Right.
That's
It's
part of what back
expensive.
was the dancers. You ain't wrong there.
I would
I heard
definitely
they
agree with that.
yeah, I heard they was coming out with a calendar, the girls of Wolfpack 20 years later.
Are they still a thing?
I hope not. Jeez. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I'm like, I haven't seen shit of them in a long time.
I mean, Anthrax still walks around the gathering, I think, don't she? I think
I know
remember
a couple of
them,
the
I saw
girls still go to the gathering and shit, but
But I bet they're
ever
like
since
repping Wolfpack or just there.
I just there.
they're just there, yeah.
Yeah. Like I haven't
Yeah.
seen Wolfpack really on anything in forever.
No, ever since they had a falling out at the gathering, somebody throwing piss balloons at them or something. Some
Right.
shit
Everybody was like,
that,
"Hey,
or
you
something. I
guys
don't
are
know what it
pieces
was.
of shit," and they're like, "Fuck."
They're like, fuck, you got us. We're not coming back. And we're like, cool. That's cool. But I do miss the W fuck off radio. Because Wolf, you know, let's be real about it, man. Wolfpack do some, you know, some fucking funny shit, especially back in like Cave and Rock days and shit, man.
Yeah.
And these guys
It was back in
would-
the day of radio when I first really started getting known, because that's when fucking it was one of the Valentine's episodes. They had two of the girls hosting back like 2011, and me and my boy Cannibal Carib were on there, and that's when we dropped this video, Pain, and things were going really well with
like a
us for a
piss
while,
balloon.
but then he just quit doing music, and it was like, all right. And then I had a kid and moved, so
yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like a lot of life fucking happens, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, you know, how long can you go with it costing you money, or you know, you're on your way to a fucking show, you know, fucking ABK's on his way to the march and his van breaks down in the middle of fucking Pennsylvania and shit. So like you know what I'm saying? Like there's all kinds of fucked up shit, and then it ends up costing you all kinds of shit. Not only are you minus the exposure, but then all the people that were expecting to see you are like, oh, you know, he fucking stiffed us. Oh, he don't give a fuck. He just fucking blew us off, because they don't know the details of everything, you know, and then they're starting to feel some sort of way, like, oh yeah, you know, that motherfucker don't care about his fans. Last time I booked him for a show, he didn't show up. And then that word gets around, and you're like, well, goddamn, like that cost me $1,000, and my transmission fucking blew out, and I was stuck on the side of the road for 6 hours. It was a fucking horrible time, and all I wanted to do was be there and perform.
Yeah, that's why I can say I have been so far in all these years. I should knock on wood to say I've never actually backed out of a show that I've been on. I've always been there, but there is one show that I was in Jackson that I caught the stomach flu literally the night of the fucking show, and I was throwing up literally all night. I still went on stage because I was like, I'm not backing down. I still went on stage. I got through like the first verse of a song. The hook was kicking, and I was trying to jump with it. I immediately felt it come up. My homie DJ D luckily was the DJ at the time, and he was behind me, and he could just see my face and knew something was up. He runs open and kicks open a door for me. I go out there and just start spewing my guts. And at that point, it just didn't end. I just kept throwing up the whole rest of the night, and I couldn't get back on. But that's the only time I've ever not performed on some shit that I said I was going to perform on, ever.
Yeah, and it's good. Like I said, it's hard to keep your word like that. So fuck,
Right.
that's a great thing, you know. Fuck yeah. And going out there, and it's not just, you know, Sherm said something earlier whenever we was talking about Cartoon and Enoch and the energy coming out there, and it's not just going out there and, you know, rapping your lyrics or singing your lyrics. No, you're going out there to give a performance to people. So,
right.
You know, maybe you're doing some running around, you're trying to put, you know, extra emphasis and emotion behind things, and it's physically tolling on you for sure.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah, Sherm saying he had to pull with pneumonia. I haven't had to deal with that, luckily, when it comes to a show. I've had pneumonia, but never when I had to perform. And when it comes to something that you could give other people, I think I would have to back out of that.
For sure.
I'm not going to
contagious.
There could be fans out there that are like immune compromised, some shit like that. You could go over there, and what's like a shitty week for you being sick could put them in the hospital. So I'm not about to go out there and possibly spread that shit.
You know, and it's like you said, you know, it's tough too, you know, when you're not feeling it, because that's half of it too. You know, you don't want to go out there and give a lackluster performance either. Like, of course, okay, you want to be out there, you want to do it, but yeah, you want people to feel your shit. You want to be able to put that energy out, because the crowd recognizes that, you know, and and anymore, there's not a whole bunch of like, you know, mosh pits and dancing and shit like it used to be. Now it's everybody's fucking holding up their phone and shit, and you know what I mean. You're seeing a show like this, you know, but so, and then when you know, like, okay, well, everybody's recording this, I want to give them that energy, because when I see these videos posted up on people's shit, you don't want to. We're all our own worst. It's got to be top notch. Yeah, because you want to see yourself and you're like, damn, you know, or it helps you to better yourself when you see shit like that. And you're like, oh, okay, that's how that translated on stage, with shit or whatever, you know. So I want to be able to go out there, and that's how I'm going to improve on that. But yeah, you know, you don't want to be like, damn, you know, fuck, I fucked that up. Look, it looks like I'm fucking sleeping over there, you know.
That's one of the main reasons that I do have my wife with me every show, and she films every one of them too. Like so I said, I do a different set every time. So I'm like, fuck it. I do all my shows. I post them on YouTube. So that way people that can't come out can see them and still shit like that.
I noticed there was a bunch of your live shit up there. Yes.
But I'm like, she's going to be recording it 99% of the time anyway. And if it's not her, we probably got one of our people with us that's going to be doing it. So I'm like, I don't need everybody with their cameras out. You're all good. We got some footage coming. Just enjoy the moment.
Yes, because I've caught myself doing it a few times too, and maybe I'll go back and watch a little bit of it if I know somebody that didn't go to the show. I recorded a lot of shit at the Sam Hain ceremony just a couple months ago, and I didn't really watch a whole bunch of it, but I did like send some videos to some people. I sent a bunch of videos to Gold and shit, you know, to people that couldn't make it, that I'm like, you know, I recorded this shit, so let me get this out there, you know. And he's over in Canada, so I know, you know, I'm in Cleveland, so it's not too far from me. I'm in what we call the Hatchet Belt, you know, that the Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh type, you know, Indianapolis, Columbus, Cincy, where we get the shows. But some of these motherfuckers, hey, Gold says real shit. Yeah, you know it, man. You know it. Gold, he was like, motherfucker. He's like, good looking out, because you know, especially people up in the Northwest, like Cash and, you know, guys like that they're not catching a lot of the clown shows and the popular shit, you know. So it's nice when people are recording it and getting it out there to people, or so that people can go that can't make it, and, you know, or don't get to see that shit all the time.
Well, it's like, especially because I've bounced around so many places. I got people so many different places. So there's some people, like, especially in Canada, it's like a lot of these motherfuckers aren't able to see the shit. Although I do have a passport, and I'm looking to start getting booked up there at some point. I just don't really know who to talk to up there yet. And I know it's going to be a big ordeal when I go up there, because I'm terrified of the border. They fucked with me so many times over my life. Like, I've been interrogated for like 4 hours of that shit. I've dealt with their dogs. Like, I don't fucking like going across the border. So when I do it, I'd rent a car because I know if they look in our car, no matter how good we clean that shit, they're gonna find weed. It's in there.
It's in there somewhere. It's under the seats. It's in the fucking
Right.
somewhere. Right. It's
So
somewhere.
yeah,
That
so we're
blunt
gonna
you
rent a
lost
whole
3
ass
years
car if I
ago.
go back to Canada. But I'm trying to go back up there, and I know I've talked to a lot of the homies about it, and I know they got enhanced IDs at least, if not passports and shit. Sherm says he wants to get to Canada. Like I got homies up there, I just don't got like promoter homies, nothing like that. So I don't really know where to go when it comes to that, but I'm trying to.
I can get you in
Yeah,
contact with a couple people out there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
'cause I
like
always-
right
I was-
there, Windsor's right across the border, and I lived there for years. Like a lot of my people are right the fuck there.
For sure.
And there's a lot of Mad Child's fucking Canadian.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of Canadian people out there. So like I'm thinking like, okay, they gotta have like a good underground scene,
Right.
Where people are doing this shit, you know. What was
I
that
remember
Golden
seeing Mad
BSP?
Child with fucking So Sick Social Club and Jay Reno performing a tiny ass strip club in fucking Windsor back like 2011. And that whole shit was packed like sardines. And they were literally walking around like a strip stage that was just like a hall. Like watching So Sick Social Club on there was crazy because they have like a drummer and shit. But it was some of the wildest shit I've seen. And people miss out on that because they're like, this is Canadian hip hop. It doesn't get over here that much. But there's a lot of dope shit up there.
Yeah, it's different. Well, and like you said, even like going over the border, Canada's one thing or whatever. It's hard to get out of Canada. Like when you go down south, like you say, oh, I'll go play a show in Mexico. Well, fuck, they'll let anybody go to Mexico. It's getting back in the United States that's the fucking hard part there, But
yeah,
he's talking about going north.
The north border scares me enough. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, no doubt.
Don't try to pet the dogs. They legit,
that'd be the
had
worst
one of their
thing.
dogs come walk over to me. They went through all the homies that were in the car, and they just walk past. They sniff everybody, keep going. This dude gets to me. He sits down next to me. I'm like, oh, the dog likes me. I go to pet him. They're like, don't touch the dog. I'm like, my bad, shit. Come to find out, he sits next to me because he smelled weed that used to be in my pocket. I'm like, there wasn't even nothing there. I'm pulling out my hands, pulling out my pockets.
That's his hit. That's how he's hitting on you, right?
Right. And I thought he likes me. No, he's just snitching on me and shit.
He's fucking
And
narking,
so
right, motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're mad as fuck because I want to pet the dog. Now I'm mad because their dog snitched on me. And it's literally, I'm just a scrub. It's been like 3 days. I've been wearing these pants. Of course, I got some roach residue in these motherfuckers. Like,
right. Yeah, of course my shit fucking, you know what I mean? It smells like it from being in my dresser and shit, just smoking in the house, yeah.
Right.
Like that shit is ingrained in the fibers of my clothes. I can't help it.
It's terrifying. I bleed weed. That's why I hate dealing with cops. I hate dealing with the border. I hate all that shit.
You ain't wrong.
It's legal, and I still don't like cops.
I'm still sweating it, Yeah, I'm old school, so I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
In North Carolina, I was in jail for the shit when I was like 15. That's changed, motherfucker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't forget shit like that, right? Yeah, and even going over to fucking Mexico and fucking getting fucking smokes, it's crazy. I'm sure Canada is a little different than America too. It's almost like the next level up from shit. I'm guessing they, you know what I mean. They hold themselves to a higher standard there. Like
in a
the
lot
bums
of
beg
ways.
for dollars, not change.
The dollars up there are all coins and shit anyway, so they got to start at fives.
Yeah, and that's different. That, like you said, that's a different world, man. And that just bouncing around from place to place. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people are like, okay, they're fucking born, they're in their city, and they never make it out of that 30-mile radius of their city, and they don't know anything more than that. So that's good to have that different view of the cultures and how different it is from here to here. That's good to have the experience.
A lot of it was just getting thrown around because I fucking had to, but it worked out in the end. Like, I always was, ever since my first time in Michigan, I knew I was going to try to be back here. It's just originally like I was living in Windsor, but I was hanging out around like Wyandotte and River Rouge a lot all the time, crossing the border and shit. And so like, that's what, every time when I do music out here and everything, it would be a completely different vibe than anywhere I've ever been. So when I got to North Carolina and started doing shit, it wasn't the same. A lot of people looked at me weird. They weren't used to like,
because that wasn't what they were used
talking about fucking dead chicks.
Right.
Yeah,
that
fucking
it becomes normal for
Pennsylvania.
us.
I had to drive usually to Baltimore if I did shit around Pennsylvania. I didn't really get into Pennsylvania that much. But Michigan, it's always been like, I just fit here. Like every time I'm here, it just works.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like you said, in Michigan, Lansing's a decent sized city, and you're not too far from Detroit, you're not too far from Chicago,
Right?
You're kind of right there. You could boom. There's a lot of different shit going on. But like you say, what we're used to up here in North with our shit, and you go down to North Carolina or down to Pennsylvania and shit where they just don't do it like that there. So you stick out like a fucking sore thumb out there,
And I really did too, especially like when I first moved back to North Carolina when I was having my first kid. So this was like almost 11 years ago. And I had been living in Canada for so long. And then I moved to Michigan and I was living in Ferndale at that point. And weed was, even at that point, it was all right. Like no one really gave you shit about it. You could just smoke. No one gave a fuck. And so I was just used to that life. And then I moved back down to Charlotte and I'm sitting outside the hospital in a park rolling a blunt. And fucking my ex is like, what are you doing? You can't do that shit here. And I'm like, what do you mean? We're in a park right now. Like, and to me, it's just
right. It's like, no big deal. Like, it's just weed. Well, fuck,
yeah. And I had to get used to having to like cuff my shit again and like not being obvious with it. It was a different life when it came to that shit.
Yeah. You know what though? Like I said, it's good to get them experiences of shit and recognize that, because now when you go to a place to perform whatever, it's almost like a read the room type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can cater to your crowd. There's sometimes you're going to be able to get away with running a train in the audience, and other times you're not.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way in Chicago when we performed for a completely fucking gangster ass fucking hood event. We were the only horrorcore wicked motherfuckers on it. Me and the old dude Carib I used to rap with. And he lived in Canada his whole life. I've lived a bunch of different places, so I've experienced what the hood is at this point in my life already. And I'm like, a lot of times in the hood, they're not like go to church every Sunday, but they are religious. They got God in their life and they don't take that shit lightly. And he's like, well, we're going to do some of our Satan shit. And I'm going to go out on stage and I'm going to start chanting, fuck God. And I'm like, all right, we can do whatever songs, but let's not do the chant. I'm like,
let's leave that part out, right?
Yeah, I'm like, if we're just up there rapping, 90% of the people, they're going to be drunk. They're not going to really listen to the words. We might be able to get away with it. But let's not go out there and chant, fuck God. And he's like, nah, it'll be sick. Anybody that really likes us will ride with us. I'm like, don't do it. He tells me he's not.
But then there's the other end of that. Yeah.
Right. He goes on stage and he does it. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Everybody fucking left, which I guess we're lucky. We could have got shot or some shit, but everybody said fucking and left.
Yeah, and you're like, well, damn, I wasn't trying to clear the room. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I was trying to fucking weed out some of the squares and shit, but I wasn't trying to clear the room.
No, it was horrible. And I was just like, it was one of the examples of read the room. Because I feel like if we would have just went up there and rapped, at least a few people would have stayed around and they've been like, oh, these dudes are crazy, but at least they're rapping. But he started our set. We didn't even get a song in yet, and he already started that shit. Like,
you're right. And like you said, and there are people that even if they're, like you said, they're not going to church every Sunday and shit like that, but when you start coming out there and go, fuck that, and they're like, well, wait a minute, this is deep to them people. This is something they believe in. They ain't trying to hear that. They ain't trying to buy a t-shirt after that, let alone sit and listen to your shit and whatever.
No, it's like directly disrespectful to them type shit. And I'm like, you gotta know where you're at.
Yeah, read the room. I'm working on a little of that too, so I get it.
Right.
And especially with shit, I've noticed with a lot of these underground artists and shit that the merchandise and shit is what keeps a lot of these motherfuckers afloat is having the hot t-shirt or the hot charm coming out with shit, where, to try to get paid off of fucking spins on Spotify or shit like that or views or whatever. Like, no, that ain't where it's at. No, that don't do shit. Like, no, you're eating peanut butter and jelly on that. You want to get a
Right.
fucking cheeseburger or a steak, you better have you a hot logo with some fucking fresh ass shirts or
Like this big sherm right here.
look at that motherfucker. Hell yeah. All right. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Oh, and, you know, that's a little bit of what shit is too, is like, you know, supporting your people. You know, like I said,
Yeah.
I went to Clockside Christmas and I was a little fucking broke and shit. You know, I have a whole bunch of dough and this is what I bought. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
It was
yeah.
one $5 patch. I ain't getting no other t-shirts from nobody else, no other bullshit. But I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna get something. Even when I go to the gathering these days, it's very rare that I even buy anything from the Psychopathic merch booth. I'm
Right.
buying shit from, you know, Dead Canvas and you know, Wicked Dreams and some of these people that are you know, that make this shit at home, that
Right.
they brought it to the gathering to get rid of it and they need that gas money to get
Yeah,
home
you're
and shit, or
helping
to
out the
party and have a
juggalos,
good
getting something
time.
fresh and helping somebody
Yeah.
out. That's getting some karma points and shit. Like,
Yeah,
hell
yeah, because like, okay, they brought this shit here because they need to sell it, whatever. Psychopathic don't give a fuck if I buy a jersey or
Nah.
not. You know what I mean?
The
They're still
majority of the
eating.
time I spent in the Psychopathic merch tent was when it started raining that night. I went and stood under it for a little bit.
Yeah,
But
I'm looking
other
at
than
that
that, I wasn't
$150
really-
jerseys and shit, and I'm like, ain't none of these got
Right.
my name on them. You know, fuck
I
that.
didn't even stay long because they weren't letting you smoke weed there, and so I'm like, this isn't really the spot for me.
Yeah, I did think that the way the merch row was shaped up, and I didn't make it to the flea market, but I seen a lot of shit online and shit. I wish I would have went to that, but it was all hot and I was hungover and didn't feel like fucking
Right.
going and shit. But a lot of this shit is cool because I love that fucking DIY shit. You know, I love the handmade shit, and that's where you see the real crafty and crazy shit that's, you know, not just being sold everywhere online.
Right. Now my wifey was getting like random bracelets people had made and shit like that. Like she especially loves that type of shit. She's always wanting to go to these like vending craft events and shit like that. So when she found people at the gathering doing that, she was like, this is amazing.
Right. That's cool stuff, like you said. And then you know, you could see whatever, you know, like, oh, you know, they were inspired by this because, like, you know, and that's another thing with all the handmade shit is everybody thinks, oh, they're ripping, that's my gimmick, and they're ripping that off and they're doing that. And it's like, well, no, you know, a lot of shit, that's how people get inspired is by other shit, you know, or same thing with the music shit where you hear something and you're like, oh, that's dope. That's a good idea for a song, you know, but if like I was going to do it, I would do it like, you know, well, hang on, let me do my, you know, shit like that. And like, okay, you're not necessarily ripping them off. You're just inspired by their idea. You know, you're inspired by their shit. You know, it's not stealing nothing like that. It's like I said, it's your source of inspiration to create what you're going to create.
Well, I've seen it this day and age too, because there's so much shit out there. Like there's a lot of times somebody has basically the same fucking idea as somebody else. And like you might have never even fucking heard their song, and all of a sudden you guys are rapping the same theme, the same topic, whatever, different beat, whatever's different about it. But like I've seen it happen multiple times. It's even happened with me. I went and listened to somebody else's shit in the underground or seen them on stage and been like, I did basically this song at one point to a different
2
beat.
years ago. I did this 2 years ago, motherfuckers. Right.
Like it's really hard at this day and age to really, especially with as much as out there, to come up with something that somebody else hasn't touched on yet, especially.
Yeah. As far as like subject matter now it's one thing because I've definitely heard stuff from Ouija or, you know, even some of these other bigger names where I'm like, you know, he comes out with a song and everybody's like, oh, that's a banger. And I'm like, man, I heard, where do I know that from? Like, this sounds real familiar and shit. It's like,
a bunch of
oh,
samples
yeah,
from
fucking,
shit.
yeah, dude over here was doing the same thing. They opened up for Ouija fucking last year. And now, coincidentally, he's got a song out that's, you know, very similar to their shit.
Just another layer over the beat.
It's just right, or a little twist on it. You know, one that I you know, was on lately was the one cartoon just dropped with FJ Outlaw, whatever, you know, that fucking look at us now. You know, and then like, and I'm listening to it and I'm like, man, you know, like I know I've heard shit similar to this, maybe not that exact same thing or
Right.
whatever, but it's definitely like, okay, that's his, and he put his own shit, but like, you never know what's going to inspire you to want to put something out there, and it's going to sound the same. And it's not necessarily plagiarism with shit. Like I said, it's just an inspiration,
Well, it's where your brain goes sometimes too. Like depending on what I'm listening to, a lot of the time makes for whatever type of music I'm making at the time. Because there's sometimes I'm in my super metalhead moods where I'm listening to metal shit, and then a lot of the stuff I'm working on ends up being way more heavy. But then I'll be listening to like a lot of hip hop and lyric shit, and I'll start doing more like, I don't want to say like softer shit, because I'm still talking about fucking dead bodies, so it's still crazy.
right.
I'll
But
be
it's
more
just
smooth
this little
about it and lyrical about it and shit. Like, and a lot of it I feel like it's without even meaning to. It's just whatever theme of shit that I'm fucking with at the time. I'm like, all right, that's the type of shit I'm writing right now. Like basically that whole Rio Town Ripper album I did, I was listening to a lot of like Wu-Tang and Gravediggers and shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna just try to fucking rap my ass off, but still say some fucked up shit.
Right. You gotta and that's another thing too, is like, you're putting stuff out there, and you could work on a song that you're stuck on shit, and this is your shit, you're putting it together, and it took you 6 months to put this shit together and fucking do everything, and you put your heart and soul and your blood, sweat, and tears, and then there's another song that you wrote in 5 minutes while you were taking a shit one morning, and everybody's like, that's such a great song, dude, that's a fucking banger. You're like, yeah, but this one here, and they're like, that's kind of mid, but this one right here, dog, you're like, what the fuck, man, you don't know what people are gonna like anymore. Shit,
no, everybody's perception is different. What's funny about the shit is Num Num was one of my songs I had sitting on an album for I think like a year or two before I even started performing the shit. Because in my head, I was like, that just doesn't feel like a stage song. I'm like, that's one that you'll listen to on the album when you want to hear some creepy cannibal shit. It's not really something for the stage. But one of my fucking people, one of my fans, this dude, Matt, kept hitting me up all the time. He's like, when are you going to perform that shit? And I was just like, I'll just randomly throw it on a set at one point. All I did was the hook. Like, I literally just threw it in randomly, and everybody went wild with that shit. Like, at the end of the night, people were coming over going like, nom. I'm like, I guess I got to do this now.
You're like, yeah, I guess that did catch on. Yeah.
Right. And now people have trains to it.
Right. Now people fuck to it. What do you know?
Right.
Right.
I make good old-fashioned fuck music. I'm Bammy White.
But you know what I'm saying? Wow. Right. So you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I like that, though. It's because you never know what people are, like you said, like you're like, oh, I don't feel like this song will transition well into a live performance with stuff, but that's the ones that everybody wants to hear. So, like you say, you got to try, you got to get out there, because it doesn't matter what you like when it comes down to it, is because you want to cater to your audience with it.
Right.
So, like, I like to perform all these songs, but these are the ones that get the crowd moving,
I skipped like one show since The Gathering where I didn't do that song, and I literally got questioned afterwards. They're like, why didn't you do that? And I was like I'm sorry. Shit. And but what was weird though is everywhere I go since The Gathering, like all over Michigan, every show I do, I have crowds chanting that shit with me. But then when we went and did Axmas, it was mostly people that didn't know me that well yet. And it was like, most of the tickets that sold for that, Sherm sold them, because I didn't really know people down there and shit. And so when I did that song for a crowd that didn't know it, it was very odd because people weren't singing with me and I didn't know how to feel.
Yeah. And with a lot of it too, like you say, there's the ones that, you write down and whatever, and like people like, oh, like I said, I love that one. You read the song about, when you was feeding the kid and shit, whatever, and people like, all of a sudden people are like, fucking, we love that shit, know, you got to cater to the crowds.
That's why Zitro will always do I Don't Need Guns. Don't need
I was
no guns.
just going to say that, just like that.
Yep, Zitro literally told me one of the times we were talking, he's like, Num Num is this for you now, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing that.
Hells yeah. So what is your favorite song to perform? What do you like?
I like doing this shit called Slipping Into Unexistence, which it's one of the songs that I wrote when I was all fucked in the head, which it does bring me to that fucked up place. But I love finishing on that song because I let out like so much stress that usually happens in life between each set before I have time to do it again. And by the end of the set, I'm usually like on the ground screaming my fucking lungs out and shit. And it's wonderful. It's almost, it's like the feeling you get when you get to finally strangle the shit out of somebody that you've just wanted to strangle for a really long time. Just that release. And so anytime I'm able to do that song, like it might kind of be a greedy thing. I don't necessarily do it for everybody. I do it for myself a lot of the time. But like Nate said, I just saw say he loves when I finish to that song. It leaves an impact though. And what's fucked up is one of the songs I realized that when I listened back to it, I didn't even cuss in that shit. I went a full ass song. It's called Slipping into Unexistence. I went a whole song just talking some crazy shit. I was losing my mind. And I found a way to do it without cussing. And it's still one of my most like traumatic, fucked up songs.
Did you consciously do that? Or was that just a thing that afterwards you were like, damn.
Yeah, I realized it years later. Like even after performing it and having the lyrics in my head memorized, it was years later. At one point I was listening. I'm like, I don't cuss in this. The only time I cuss is on stage, where generally at the end I start screaming fuck. But in the actual song, it's not even there.
Hell yeah. Let's listen to that one, Lee. Let's listen to some of this dude's shit, man. Like I didn't really get a chance to get all educated up on it, but I'm definitely fucking look, my man's on it. Look at that shit. Fuck yeah. Fuck you, Jimmy Bubbles. You're in trouble. That's I like the art here too. I like the art on this, you know. It's simple, you know what I'm saying? It's simple, you know, it's cheesy, but it's not janky, you know.
Yeah, I've tried to play it fine, but every time I find another hottie with a pretty smile, I gotta make her mine. Gone stays on vacation. I laugh with mutilation, whether self or upon others. Either way relieves frustration. Stay chasing the sensation that only death brings satisfaction. Like I got a brat in a sex swing, yo. I hex things, life's a mess. Undressing all that's left of your sanity until you're confessing that you'd really rather die. Suicide's the best thing, so just give a decent try and get on with the resting. I think of murder every day and every minute, every second. Every person in my head is dead, and that's without a question. Every vision, blood is dripping. Hate for everyone who's living. Every moment I keep slipping till the end of all existence. Every moment I keep slipping till the end of all existence. Every moment I keep slipping till the end of all existence. I see a reason I can snap. Every time I take a breath, I break a piece off from some glass and stab it deep inside her chest. Then I rest with her body and caress her where she lies, squeezing on her tender throat until she rolls back her eyes. When she dies, I can keep her like a secret where I sleep. Wake up with the brush and makeup like I bumped SOAD. What's wrong with me? Lots of things it seems. I fiend for blood and scream. Speak with demons, scheme, and all these plans of human beings. It sounds like peace, so I seek a day that blood can run the streets. Give my praise to the beast in hopes our needs can finally meet. Leak my vitals on the candles, watch the flames slowly die as black smoke fills the sky. Let the dark Lord rise. Think of murder every day and every minute, every second. Every person in my head is dead, and that's without a question. Every vision, blood is dripping. Hate for everyone who's living. Every moment I keep slipping till the end of all existence. Every moment I keep slipping till the end of all existence. Every moment I keep slipping till the end of all existence. I think of murder every day and every minute, every second. Every person in my head is dead, and that's without a question. Every vision, blood is dripping. Hate for everyone who's living. Every moment I keep slipping till the end of all existence. I think of murder every day and every minute, every second. Every person in my head is dead, and that's without a question. Every vision, blood is dripping. Hate for everyone who's living. Every moment
I said bitch at the end. I didn't catch the ad lib. I guess that counts. For
That's not the actual lyrics, though. That's not the actual lyrics. Now, you do your own beats and shit. How you get your beats? What do you do with that?
That project was Dead Body Pimpin', and it was a Frankenstein of producers. I went through a whole bunch of different random people I was finding on BeatStars, and that's where I first started finding beats from Ill Fortune. And it's ironic because I didn't even know who he was at that point. I just knew he made some sick fucking beats, and he ended up he's the beat for Num Num, ironically. And now he reps Acid Cult too. He's been down with Enoch forever. So once we all linked up, I was like, this is kind of like a crazy collision of universes now. Because I've been on BeatStars fucking buying beats off of him and shit.
Yeah, that's a crazy coincidence, because it's one thing to run into somebody, in your city doing shit or whatever, and then it's another thing for it to be like, internet, which is fucking worldwide, to be, to all come together with shit. So yeah, that's dope, man. I like this shit. I'm definitely gonna check out more of your shit, man. I don't listen to a whole bunch of the dark horrorcore shit. But like I said, after the gathering this year, I started going down the dark half rabbit hole. And Bloody Ruckus coming out and putting shit out again or whatever,
Fucking love Bloody Ruckus.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to shit like that too, it's like, and I listen to some of it, and I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the music with it. I'm almost 50 years old and shit. So I'm not always like the biggest fan of music, but like, a fan of the person, Bloody Ruckus, the guy that sacrificed his fucking time and his life for this fucking horror shit. You know what I'm saying? And and now he's coming back and he's doing it and he's hungry for it and he's wanting to do it and people are showing him love and shit. And like I said, I'm just, I'm a fan of that man, that persistence, that's determined to do this, because I know shit's hard, fuck yeah, it takes a lot to do this.
Since you mentioned Ruckus, I'm gonna give a little tidbit of information. I don't know if I'm allowed to say yet, and my wife might stab me, but we might have Ruckus coming out to Michigan this summer.
Nice. I gotta feel like a guy like that had to step away from the scene for a little bit is he wants to be on shows. He wants to get out there. He wants to be back on them stages and fucking rocking them. And that's got to be such a rewarding thing for him to get out there and see that these people, that there are people that like, yo, these people fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like they might not have been, all about you. You stepped away for a minute, whatever, but you get back up on that stage and shit. And people are like, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? Fucking this dude, he's out here doing it. And, I had talked with Ruckus about some shit because like I said, I ain't really listened to none of his music before or nothing, and I heard, he came back with that Resurrection of the Broken Reflections or whatever, and I'm like, I was like, I'm a fan of this guy, and I kind of, started talking with, I got those DMs or whatever, we was talking about some shit, and he said like some super real shit, and just like, just made me more of a fan, you know what I'm saying? Like not even of the music, but of what he fucking stands for, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what we need,
great ass dude,
is solid motherfuckers, man, for real.
But then his music too, on top of that, like the way he can fucking rap, like the speed he uses, and I guess the intricity, I'm not good at that word, whatever word I'm trying to say right now. But the way he puts his shit together, like, it's just phenomenal. Like, you don't see a whole lot of people that are doing some, like, real horrorcore shit, but that can also rap like that motherfucker does.
Yeah, putting the thought into their lyrics and behind their lyrics. And it's not just word rhyming. It's storytelling. And, hey, and like my man said, he says, shit's so different than it was in 09, And like I said, I'm 48, 46. We like what we like, and it's hard to get out there and hear new shit. And that's what got me excited about fucking like Cartoon and Enoch, is because I like what I like, and like, okay, Clockwork comes on the scene and then you hear these other guys that are like, oh, okay, it's fucking, there is some new shit out there that I might be interested in hearing. I gotta stay open to that.
Nah, and Nate here, he shows up to all the shit too. Like, we threw a show for him and his wifey to get married, and it was one of the fucking greatest things I've ever been part of in my fucking life. Like, we bonded them together on stage. I did some voodoo magic for everybody. It was amazing. And I think it meant as much to me as it did to them, which is fucked up because they're the ones that got married and shit. But it was an amazing fucking night.
Yeah, sometimes to be a part of something like that, though, like I said, it's special, and you know that's something that that they're going to be carrying with them for the rest of their shit too. You know, it wasn't just a show you performed at that was a good time. Fucking da da da. No, it meant something. You know, and it's nice to know that. That somebody asks you to do something like that you're like, oh goddamn, like you think that much of me that you want me to come be a part of this thing that's going to be for the rest of your lives, that's your journey, and you want me to be a part of it. Fucking all right.
No, it's like such an honor for something like that. Like, it was the type of thing I'm like, I would have been in the building anyway just to watch, but to be part of the shit, like
yeah, and like the voodoo thing isn't real big up in the north or whatever. You know, that's a southern thing. You're down there in New Orleans and shit.
Right.
You know, that's the voodoo shit down there with it.
Right.
You know, so to be up here and like relaying that, there ain't a lot of people doing that gimmick and shit. So, you know what I mean? It's good to have that fucking vibe with it and bring that energy and intensity and, you know, like you said, it'd be part of like shit like that, where it's like this big ceremony that's going to mean something to somebody, you know, that's what this underground shit is too, is it's a lot of personal reward with shit. You know what I'm saying? For sure. It's hard to, it's hard to, like I said, you know, it's storytelling. It's, you know, staying on beat. It's rhyming your words. It's not trying to jam too much in and say too much and overcomplicate your own lyrics and stuff or whatever. So yeah, but I like that one, man. And like I said, the other one, I don't know what the name of it. The one I was listening to was about weed smoking and shit. But I was like, I was like, oh, I like this one. All right, I'm gonna check some of this motherfucker out. And the live performance thing, that's sweet to see too, because there's a lot of times you'll hear a song live and you'll be like, oh man, you know, I want to hear that. And then you hear it recorded and you're like, that don't have the same vibe to it, you know, or vice versa. With
it can be completely different feels.
Wacko is that for me. Like he's got good music live, and then I go to listen to it on, you know, in the car or whatever, then it's like,
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Wacko the Kid?
Yeah, like in that instance with the whole, you hear it live and then, oh, that's badass, and then you go to listen to it later on.
You're like, that just doesn't have the same vibe to it recorded. Right.
Sometimes the energy is like, I've even told people before, like, that's one of the things I do when I go to record anything now, is because I'm like, I got to capture the energy that I'm going to have on stage doing this shit. Because if you're just rapping the shit to the microphone, then it's not going to sound right when somebody goes back and listens to it.
Relay.
Like if somebody heard it on stage and then goes back and listens to the song and it's just all like monotone and you just talking or whatever, it's like, you got to, I love to have the different feels, but it's still got to have its own momentum. Like, you got to be able to have them to be able to enjoy both sides of it, which is sometimes a hard balance. Like, I feel like that was my thing with Num Num. For the longest time, I'm like, it's not a stage song, but then all of a sudden it's fucking what it is now.
Right. And then even at that, I'm sure that the first time you did it compared to after you've done it a few times, where you start to learn, like, okay, well, where can I get away with screaming at, or where do I want to try to draw the power for this? You know what I'm saying? And do something. And they say he's asset cult security. I like that.
Hell yeah. No, he's the motherfucking family right there. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. But hell yeah.
Where's your face tats?
I don't got no face tats. Mine are all over my arms.
All right, we're gonna need some face tats. When are we doing those?
I mean, I could. No one would really mind. I think.
Don't listen to me, dude. Don't listen to me. I'll fuck everything up, man. Don't listen. That's good shit, though. But I noticed, you know, because that's another thing too, is you know, a lot of it is with this shit now is the shock value of things,
Right.
and being out there and doing it, you know, and that's like I'll give you some props, man, because you know, even like with the art on your shit, you know, because some people are very picky and they want everything to you know, it's all this has to look, you know, super professional, super that. And like yours is
Right.
like very simple, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like I said, it's not janky though. Like you can tell, like
Right.
it's good, it's personal. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
personal, and that's what I like. I like the personal feeling of being able to relate with an artist and shit. And
Right.
you know what I mean? That's the dope shit for me as a fan. You know?
No, when I don't do all my albums just drawn like that. Like sometimes it'll be like different photo edits, whatever it is. Sometimes I'll have somebody else do it. But in cases like that, it's just kind of like almost memories of when I was in middle school doing those cassettes, and we'd fucking every time we duplicate one to pass out, we'd draw the fucking whole art for it. And we were kids. We didn't have computers or printers or nothing
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It wasn't like
We
none of this
drew
shit
every
now.
single one of them motherfuckers. So like if anybody from back in the day still has that shit, that would be dope because I don't got any of them no more. But we put out a good
Right,
review,
right.
and we weren't making money. We were scrubby ass little juggalos walking around like, listen to our shit. Like,
Right. Just trying to get it out there, you know, right? Trying to
right.
get the exposure, you know, yes. That's a Voodoo and NGS collab would be fire. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, I didn't listen to that Nom Nom one or whatever, but I'm like I said, I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to some shit and check your shit out.
Make
Because
sure you have a lady around when you listen to that song because it'll do some things.
right, that's what I'm talking about. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, that's what I hear. They get real freaky. I'll make sure I have my lady and a couple of friends around.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it.
Holy shit, to run into train in the living room. Turn that shit off. Everybody's fucking over here. That's good shit though. Cause like you said, that's special shit too. That's not just gonna happen just anywhere. You know, the
only the
stars
gathering.
all have to line up for that shit to fucking go down, you know. So that's
no, legit. As soon as I left that, I'm like, I will never top this in any set in my life. Like, I will never be able to say that this happened again anywhere else. Like, even if I play the gathering again, the chances of the stars aligning like that, like,
and happening like that again. Yeah,
right.
That's just, you know, that like you said, that's bucket list shit right there for sure.
It's like I see people still to this day in the different fucking juggalo groups and everything, like trolling about the train that was going on. And I get tagged all the time, be like, yeah, that was during BamBam set and shit like that. And every time I just laugh my ass off. Like I see some shit literally like at least once or twice a month still all the time.
Yeah, that's great. You know, like you know, if you're hey, and really, and like I said, like it's not like it was planned or anything like that. It wasn't like you're like, oh, let me bring this fucking whore and she can start blowing everybody in the middle of this song.
Yeah.
But the fact that it did fucking go down like that, and you are getting some recognition for that, because then you know people are laughing about it and people are talking about it, and then it comes up like, oh, that was during his set. And then like, oh, okay, well, who is he? What's he doing? You know what I mean? It gets you more exposure. So that's
right. They know I make love music then.
You make love music. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's super dope, BamBam. And I'm definitely going to be checking your shit out. Like I said, I've been fucking riding that acid cult nutbag kind of hard recently and shit. So,
hell yeah.
You know, I'll definitely be pushing some of your shit and listening to it. But I'm gonna hop off of here, Lee. I appreciate you having me on and shit, my mans.
Hell yeah.
And you know, BamBam, good to fucking see you. I'll see you at the gathering. I'll see you at Legends.
Absolutely, I'll be at the gathering.
All right, I'll see you at the beer wheel, right?
I don't drink. I'll drink some water.
Me neither. But all right, that's what's up with it. Hell yeah. All right, whoop whoop, y'all.
Whoop, whoop. I see D's 17 Rider talking about the collab with AZ. That needs to actually happen. This whole super group that you're talking about, I was literally talking to both AZ and Sherm about it. I've talked to Toon and Enoch. We just got to get us all together to make it actually fucking happen. Because even the Halloween in Michigan album, to have the 6 of us do those 3 songs, it took so long. But it's one of the main things that I want to see done. I want us to do like a fucking Wu-Tang 36 chamber style album, like a full ass project where we throw us all in there, mix up people on different songs, do whole ass ciphers here and there. Like it would be fire.
Fuck yeah. Now, who are some of your biggest influencers on your music outside of like the juggalo culture growing up?
I listen to a lot of like hippie shit, you could say, like Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix and shit like that. But along the same lines, like I'll also listen to like Cradle of Filth and shit like that too. But like that's one of the things I still to this day, my shuffle list at work, it'll bounce from like fucking music to horrorcore to hip hop to metal. Like I mix it up depending on my mood, really. So all that type of shit, like I was saying earlier, whatever I'm listening to influences the type of shit I'm writing. Like
Right.
even when it comes to that, like if I'm in a Gravediggers mood, I'm gonna write some like lyrical hip hop horror shit. If I'm in like a metal mood, I'm gonna write more of the like fucking dark shit. Probably a lot of the witchcrafty shit that I be writing when I'm listening to a lot of Cradle of Filth because it just gets me in that type of mood type thing. And so like all these different genres kind of blend together and influence everything I be fucking with.
Now, is there a collab artist that you've always wanted to and always had intentions of doing, but it's never came to light?
I want to get a time machine and rap at least one song with Closed Casket, Kill the Fetus era Isham. Because I think it would be fucking beautiful. Like
For sure.
that's basically like my childhood was that shit coming up, and I loved it so much. And no one does shit like that anymore. Like you can't find that like fucking dark satanic acid rap shit anymore. Like it
No,
doesn't
he even put
exist to
that
that.
shit to rest.
What's up?
He even put that shit to rest himself.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like I can hit up Isham right now and say I want him to do it because that's not what he does anymore. Like he's in a different lane now doing his own thing. Nada, what up though?
Yeah, what up, Nada?
Your profile picture's blue hair. That's weird. You don't got blue hair. You got pink hair. I just saw you at the Acid Cult birthday party and your hair was pink. Oh shit, I ran out of coffee. That's a sad moment.
You drink coffee this late at night?
I'm a weirdo.
I'd never go to sleep.
I never do anyway, so it's just like
What's your favorite gathering moment while not performing, while you're just out enjoying yourself?
my favorite. I did end up skipping a lot because I wasn't able to go. The first one I went to was the 10th annual, and then I wasn't there again until the last one that we were just all at. But my favorite moment happened last year when me and my wife had Thursday night where I didn't have any work that I had to do, where I was able to just fucking chill. And we ate a mushroom bar and went and watched ICP. And it was just phenomenal. And then after ICP went off, we just had a space adventure around the whole gathering grounds with some of the homies that were also tripping balls. And it was just phenomenal. And if I could live that night forever, I'd be fucking good. And that was the same night the Star Wars band played too. The Siths, they came out in all the fucking like stormtrooper gear and shit like that. They had all the blue and red lights going, and we were fucking tripping balls on mushrooms watching that shit. It was amazing. Like that entire night is just like a blur of one amazing fucking gathering moment for me. Like at one point, I remember walking by these ninjas. They had this carpet all put out underneath their tent, and it had these like swirly things. And they were all like, "You guys want to come sit down?" And we had this whole thing going the whole night that the carpet was going to eat us and suck us into it. So every time we walked by those motherfuckers, we were yelling at their carpet and shit. And because we were tripping, it was hilarious. And I don't know if they thought it was hilarious as we did, but they didn't yell at us or nothing. So,
But what could have been too bad.
right.
Now, how did you get involved with the Acid Cult crew in the beginning?
It started out like I did a couple shows with them randomly. And at first, I remember I can't remember what show it was, but I was making a flyer. So I'm assuming it's one of Sherm's shows because I did flyers for him a lot of the time. And I was putting their names on the flyer and I didn't even know who they were. It was probably like a year or so, probably more than that now. I feel like I've been fucking with them for like a year now. But I didn't know who they were, and I remember seeing the logo, and it was when Cartoon had the one with like the butched out cigarettes and everything like that, and I'm like, the art is fucking sick, but how have I not seen them if they're doing shows out here? Usually everybody on the flyer I'm familiar with, and then I wasn't. And then I remember seeing them on stage, and it was literally from that first time I was like, these guys are the shit. And we did a few shows randomly together, and they were some of the ones that I made sure I never fucking missed when I was at their shit. And I remember Battle Creek at one point. That's their hometown or whatever. They came out to that shit, and Cartoon was like, yo, I'm trying to do a collab with you at some point. And I hear this at like every other show I go to. People be like, oh, I want a collab. I want a collab. I'm like, that, whatever. I'll hear from you when I hear from you. It'll happen. This motherfucker sends me some shit like the next day. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's go. I sent him something back, and since then, we've just been riding. I see Zitro's in here too. It's like a whole acid cult gathering in this motherfucker again.
Yeah, we need to get all you guys on at once. That would be dope.
We need to. I posted in the group chat about it. Zitro don't read group chat messages. Enoch don't read anybody's messages. Nada was talking about it. She's open to it. She's one of the ones that knows. Fucking Dopey's down. We just got to pick a date. Sherm's down. Nate just said, let's go. That means he's down. We just got to get Cartoon and Enoch to lock in a date. Zitro, you're here. Pick a date.
Right.
He says,
We
no,
got
we can't get this
Cartoon coming
motherfucker
on.
anywhere.
We got Cartoon coming on here too in like a week.
Hell yeah. Yo, when it happens, we'll just call Zitro until he picks up. That's how we'll spend the entire episode.
Just flood him with birthday presents till he answers.
We'll give him all the birthday presents. I'll eat after, young lady.
He says, nope.
It's Zitro's birthday. Cartoon's birthday just passed.
Yeah.
Yo, what's funny is fucking every time I see a Cybertruck, I think of Zitro. Like literally every single time now. Nobody can drive by in a Cybertruck without me being like, someday that will be Zitro. We'll get you one. We're going to make a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Everybody can just throw together to get him a Cybertruck because that would make his day.
I think those things are ugly myself, but
I don't want one.
no, definitely not.
We could just build him one. We'll just get some like flat ass sheet metal and shape it all together.
That shit that looks like that aluminum shit with like the rivets in it and shit.
Right? I feel like we could do it. We could just smoke a whole lot of weed, get some tools.
Get an old dune buggy and fucking or Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo would probably be better.
I don't know anything about cars really. I think me and my wife have a CRV. Come roll a joint.
What are you most looking forward to in the future with music?
I don't really know. I kind of live all this shit day by day type thing and just kind of soak it in because we've been doing a lot of dope shit, like collectively, even like all last year as the cult, we invaded so many dope spots. Like we all were running shit at the gathering. We were all out at Gorefest. Like we were hitting up a bunch of different spots individually at the same time. Like that's the type of shit I'm fucking with. Like at some point it would be cool to like make money and like live off the shit and be able to stop working in a kitchen the majority of the fucking time. But in the meantime, like I'm just living for this shit because it's fucking dope. Every time I get to a show, like I prefer the real underground shows than the big shows. Like I like the acid cult shows that we throw when we got all our people in that motherfucker. Like way more than I like the ones where we're just like opening for some huge name and I get there and there's like a few of the homies, but then a whole bunch of people I don't like because I'm so like antisocial. I just want to hide in a corner most of the time. But when it's people I know, I feel a lot more better about it. Like it can be packed full of homies and then I'm like, all right, I'm cool now.
Yeah, and you're more relaxed, laid back.
Right.
Are you trying to perform this year's gathering?
I'm gonna definitely try. Like I'm gonna be there either way because I'm just trying to kick it. And if I don't end up performing, I'm not necessarily gonna be mad because that means I get to have a lot more just like chill ass mushroom nights. So like that
Are you
Thursday
there
night was so
day
fucking
one, or
precious.
what day you arriving?
What's up?
What day you arriving?
It would probably be like a day one type thing because I can't take too much off of work. Like we're still broke from the last gathering.
For sure.
Like we still haven't recouped, so I got to make sure I like limit what we do.
For sure. Yeah, if you make it to day 0 by some chance, you're more than welcome to perform day 0.
I got asked to last year too. I think it might have been you guys that were running it last year, but it was the same.
He helps set up and shit, but D does more of that shit. He handles almost everything with it. So I'm just helping.
Yeah, I remembered somebody asked me about it, but it was just the type of thing where I was like, I just can't afford to be gone that long. Like it might, by the time the gathering hits this year, shit might be different. But most of the time, I'm a broke ass motherfucker. This music don't pay shit.
Right. Yeah, and fucking if Nada wants to, if she's gonna be gathering day 0, fucking Sherm, everybody, Acid Cult's more than welcome to come.
I mean, if it ended up being a collective acid cult thing, then we might just have to show up a day early and be extra broke. I don't know. We'll have to see what everybody says.
Right. Now, you said you've been to 2 gatherings?
Yeah, I went to the 10th, and even when I went then, I was like 18 years old. I didn't drive. I took a fucking Greyhound from Canada, and it was 2 days there, 2 days back. And that was a struggle just to make it. And since then, I've just never been able to. Like, between having a kid and being broke as shit all the fucking time. Like, my oldest is going on 11, and now our youngest going on 4. So to find somebody that can watch him for like a week straight.
Yeah, I feel you. I got 2 that live with me.
Yeah.
And that's older.
Yeah, our oldest don't live with us at this point, but he's with his mom's. I mean, he's with my mom, so he's good. He's not with his mom. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I got a 5, 10, or just turned 11 and 15.
Hell yeah.
Bunch of fun ages.
Nah, I'm loving this fucking going on 4 shit. Like he just started getting his attitude that everybody be talking about. They're like, the attitude comes at 2. I'm like, he was the shit. He just now started arguing with motherfuckers.
Right. Yeah, my 5-year-old's fucking. He's starting to be like I was when I was younger, and oh man. Not good.
Right.
Like attitude wise.
Nah, he'll do some like crazy shit too. Sometimes I'll have to wonder how old he is because he'll just like, I'll say something off the wall and he'll just look me dead in the eye and he'll be like, dog. I'm like, bro, you're 4, not even. Like,
No, you got any? What'd you say? You got an EP coming out?
I got a few things in the works right now. Like I'm 19 tracks into this project I'm doing called Another Day in the Loop. I'm just getting it mixed down by my homeboy A-Dub out in Florida. And then me and Thick Chris are working on this wicked shit Snoop Dogg project. Cause like I always feel like I'm the wicked shit Snoop Dogg. I smoke a shit ton of weed and I rap about killing motherfuckers. And I want to get to a point where I can smoke weed wherever I want to go. Like that's the only point of celebrity I want. I don't really give a fuck about famous and money. I just want to be able to smoke weed literally anywhere. And people to just be like, oh, that's Bam. He just smokes. Cause that's what they do about Snoop. They're just like, oh, fuck it. He just smokes. That's what he does. So,
that's what I do too. And I don't care where I'm at under like, respectful circumstances.
Right. Well, yeah, like I'm not gonna fire up at your open casket with your family there, but
no.
And then there's the EP that me and Sherm just finished that I was talking about earlier. That's coming out on Bad Friday. Well, it's coming out on Good Friday. It's called Bad Friday. And we basically got together with some Thick Chris beats. He produced the whole thing. He mixed it down. And we formed Mr. Yeager, Dr. Yeager and Mr. High. Because he's, as we all know, obsessed with his Jaeger, and I'm obsessed with my weed. So you mix us together, and that's what you get. And this shit's fire. Like, he came with some fucking dope ass shit for this one, and I'm super excited. We're gonna be doing it live a lot, especially like we're gonna be releasing it at that AXE show on the 18th. and we're gonna perform a lot of it there, if not the whole thing. We haven't really discussed, but
That was
it's
April 18th, right?
yeah, April 18th.
Yeah, that's my birthday. So
Oh hell yeah! Happy motherfucking almost birthday when it's the show. It's not April even right now, but yeah. Stop laughing at me. I'm smoking weed.
Any outside the realm like collabs you got on that? Any of these upcoming albums?
On another day a lot of times, like, I really don't have a whole lot of collabs. Like on Dead Body Pimpin', I had my homie Midnight, and me and him did the Clissy project, but for most I don't. But for Another Day in the Loop, I decided I was gonna get some homies on there. So I got something back from Cartoon already. I got something from Enoch already. I got something from Dopey that me and him perform all the time. And actually, we're gonna be dropping a video Sunday coming up. The premiere is gonna be at 420 for the track me and Dopey did from Another Day in the Loop. And if you've seen any of the show footage or seen us on stage, we performed it a few times now. But KPZ got us a dope ass motherfucking video out of it. And who else do I got on there? I got my homie Jack D. Frost sent a verse back. I sent something to Zitro. He needs to record for it if you're still in here.
Yeah, Zitro.
But yeah, I don't usually do collabs, but I figured if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get a lot of the homies on this one, because I feel like this is the type of project a lot of people can relate to, because it's just another day in the loop, and that's basically what the fuck we're all living in. Like, and that's literally what I tell people when I go to work every day. They're like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Another day in the loop." That's just what it is. I don't know what that symbol is on my laptop, Zitro. It just looks like a rectangle with an X.
Yeah, that's what it is on mine too.
Whoop whoop.
If there was one artist you would want to collab with, if it could be any artist alive, who would it be?
I want to do something with AXE. Like, I know that's multiple because it's a group, but I love that they're.
I didn't expect that response. That's fucking sick.
It just off the top of my head, I was trying to think of somebody that I know that it's not like inner circle that I couldn't just hit up and be like, let's make this happen. But it's like, they do the type of fucking horrorcore that you don't see a whole lot of anymore. And I fucking love that shit. Like, a lot of it's just become this new sound of fucking rap hip hop that's going on that, like, it's cool for what it is, but it's not that same shit that I listened to growing up that I miss. And theirs is just that, like, authentic, like, grime, like, rapping some fucking blood shit, and I love it.
For sure. They're definitely my new age favorite artists, for sure.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I blame the weed. You got to blame somebody.
What about someone outside of the juggalo community?
I don't really listen to a whole lot of what's going on outside, like the underground community in general right now. Like,
or anybody when you were like younger, like way younger, be like, oh, that'd be cool.
At one point, I would have wanted to really do some shit with Immortal Technique, just because he already had like crazy ass fucking lyrics and shit. When he went, especially onto like the darker shit, I feel like if he was pushed to do a horrorcore song, it would be fucking crazy. And it's one of the type of situations where it's like, I'd want to pull that out of somebody that I know can rap their fucking ass off and do some crazy fucking like metaphorical shit, but get them rapping some like aborting babies and eating guts shit with me.
Like Jaron Benton type shit.
Hell yeah. Jaron Benton would be another one that would be great to fuck with, because I feel like if he did something with me, he'd have to go fucking crazy, because if I'm there talking about like ripping out organs, he's not going to talk something positive.
Right.
And when he does his crazy shit, like,
yeah. Gmo is another good one too. I know there's controversy there with some
I
people.
love Gmo. I don't give a fuck. There's controversy. I don't know what the controversy with him is right now. I know there is sometimes, but
yeah, that dude's dope too.
Right. No, I've liked Gmo ever since I heard of him.
Oh yeah, for
Nate
sure.
saying Brother Lynch would be his. Yeah, Brother Lynch would be fire too. I need the Num Num remix with Brother Lynch on it.
That would be sick.
Now, Brother Lynch is also another one of the ones that I listen to a lot coming up, and he's a lot where like the whole cannibal shit comes from and everything. Like when me and Caleb used to rap as the Cannibal Disciples, we were bumping a lot of Brother Lynch back then, and it was around the time of like the Saga on Strange where he was doing Coat Hanger Strangler and everything, and it was just like I don't know. A lot of people talk about the older shit, which I do also like, but I really like that specific trilogy, especially Dinner and a Movie. I'm like that entire album is just fucking top tier.
Now, on your playlist, what is an artist people would be surprised you listen to? I'm bouncing all over the place. I did have a fucking set thing I was going through that is.
I got some Beethoven on there. Randomly, it'll pop up on the kitchen. What's another weird thing that pops up on my playlist sometimes?
Elton John.
Today we're riding around, and we were listening to a random song off Ringmaster, and then Elton John came on afterwards with Rocket
Cure.
Man, and then The Cure popped on a little bit later.
And then Alice Morissette.
The Cure? Who's that?
Yeah, the Cure. It's like this old goth band.
Is it like punk rock stuff or?
No, it's not.
It's more like a trancey, like goth music type thing. Like it's hard to explain. It's definitely not like punky though. It's more like singy. Like, and there's more like digital to the instruments, I guess you could say to it. Like, and more effects on the voices. Like a lot of it when I listen to like that more like goth style music, it's motherfuckers that sound like it's a band of vampires. Like if you ever seen the episode of the South Park with the goth kids, like the sound of shit they're listening to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. What made you listen to that stuff?
Which one? The goth shit?
Any of the like Elton John or stuff like that.
A lot of that's like my foster mom, because like my real mom listened to some of that type of shit, but she was gone by the time I was like, well, not gone, she's still alive, but I just wasn't with her anymore by the time I was like 15 or 16. And my foster mom was like an old ass hippie. She was at Woodstock in '69 and everything, so a lot of the shit she listened to was the stuff from back then, and it just always blended into my shit. Like I always was able to vibe with her and everything. And she's not here anymore. And I think a lot of that is just like the memory of her. Every time I hear it, like I remember me and her like just jamming out to that shit. And then like the random opera shit I have on my playlist, that's also from her. Because every time she cook a crazy ass meal, she was like Jewish Italian and everything. And so she'd just throw on some opera music. And the shit looked like a fucking movie going on in the kitchen. Like she'd be in there all day blaring opera, dancing around the kitchen, cooking this crazy ass shit. And so, like, a lot of that stuff just ended up still on my playlist because it makes me think of her. Like, and there's occasionally some songs on there that I legitimately don't even fucking like that I have on there just for my kid. Like the Animals song from Maroon 5. Don't like it. Do not like that song. As soon as it comes on, anytime my kid's not around, I press next. But when my kid's in the car, he starts singing. Yeah, and I can't not let him listen to his song. So it's literally on my playlist for
right
him.
now.
Which one of you wrote that? Good job.
How long have you been touring?
I haven't toured yet. I just randomly do show. And I've been doing shows since like 2010, 2011, something like that.
What's your most favorable show opening for someone?
I mean, it wasn't necessarily the opening, but my favorite will always be The Gathering, I feel like.
Outside of that, what would you say?
Outside of The Gathering, that would probably be the show I was talking about with Nate and Amanda, because I performed that night too. And I ended up doing one of my old ass songs, the song from my album Voodoo Chants from like 2012. And it's just this necro song. It's like a slow ass song about fucking dead chicks. And I got off stage and did a dance with the newlyweds as I rapped that song. And I'll never forget that moment. It was beautiful. Like I said, I make love music.
There's nothing wrong with that. Any moments stand out to you the most, like from like working with certain artists?
Probably way back in the day, I'll always remember the time I showed up at the studio and King Gordy was there with a bag of chocolate weed muffins. And we had to look around and find somebody because he had put all his weed into the muffins and he didn't have any left over to smoke. And so I remember the first like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, it was just a mission to find him some weed. It was a good time. And one of the best recording sessions ever was with that same dude back then in the day that we recorded. We booked an all-night session in that studio where we came in at like 9-10 o'clock at night and we just recorded straight till like 9-10 o'clock in the morning with him. And like we took shifts like crashing on the couch once in a while, and I'd like go outside with the producer and get some air and go back in. But we recorded like a whole ass project. And it just made me feel like Isham from Booming Words days. I'm like, we literally knocked this shit out.
What was it like fucking chilling with King Gordy?
That motherfucker is one of the most intelligent people that I've ever been around in my life. Like, you'd think he was like an English professor or some shit. Like, he sits down and just the way he words everything, just in a normal conversation, like, you could tell he has to read a lot of books or some shit.
Everything's
like,
so professionally put and shit.
Yeah.
I would play a song if that's all right. I gotta go pee quick.
Hell yeah.
You are dead. Search the pictures on the wall here. Fingertips losing blood running down the hall. Wife is real and fond of me. Look for demons in room 3. Children like what nitrous do. We're having fun watching you. I've implemented LSD. Whoa. Lose your mind, it's going free. You have entered room 2. It is laced with voodoo. I am getting in your head. Next to come, you are dead. You have entered room 2. It is laced with voodoo. I am getting in your head. Next to come, you are dead.
She's staying in room 2. I'm Mr. Voodoo. I made a doll. Wanna see it's looking just like you. I hold it up and a few pins your head spins. Witches start swirling around your body like a whirlwind. Pulling at your limbs, picking skin and cackling. Thunder crashes through the room where all the magic's happening. Candles flicker, flesh simmers, and you scream. You hope to wake up soon, but no, it's not a dream.
You have entered room 2. It is laced with voodoo. I am getting in your head. Next to come, you are dead. You have entered room 2. It is laced with voodoo. I am getting in your head. Next to come, you are dead.
Now just tell these motherfuckers!
You have entered room 2. It is laced with voodoo. I am getting in your head. Next to come, you are dead. You have entered room 2. It is laced with voodoo. I am getting in your head. Next to come, you are dead.
What's the background on that one?
That was Big Sherm was working on his project for the escape room, and he hit me up talking about he had a plan for like 3 different rooms on this project, and he wanted one of the rooms just to be like the crazy ass fucking voodoo room. So he got me on that one. Then he got Zitro on the demon one, which was the 3rd room, and the whole project just merges all together. He's got videos now for all of them, I believe, except for the 1st room too. And Thick Chris shot that video too at the gathering with all the shit that he was shooting. I remember we had to wake up at like 7:30 in the fucking morning, and we shot it on the day after the last day before we left town and shit. And we made Histio all mad at us and everything, but he doesn't seem mad anymore. He's I think cool now.
That's one of my favorite ones. That one and how do you say that Soul File or
Selena File Serenade.
Yeah.
Now that one was also. I had originally written a song that was basically the same shit back when I was still in high school, and I just never did anything with it. And I just kept the idea. And when I was surfing through beats to find that project I was working on, that beat, as soon as I heard it, I just started thinking of that song again. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to remake it today. And then as soon as I had it out, I had a million people hit me up talking about, if you do a video, you need to do one for this. And it just came down the time to shoot a video. And I'm like, I guess that's the one I got to do.
Right. How long did that take? Was there a lot of time put into that one, or did it just come together?
I think we did it all like in an afternoon pretty much. Like they came out and we shot it all out here in Lansing, and we shot the bedroom scene. It's literally just like mine and my wife's bedroom. It's where I'm at right now and shit even. And then we shot some scenes out around basically literally right where I work across the street, just in the city and shit, just to get some shots like that and everywhere. And the longest time was probably just because they specifically had the idea of me doing 2 versions where I got paint and where I don't got paint. And so we shot all the shit for the first when I wasn't painted, and then we came back and I had to paint up, and that took me like 45 minutes to an hour. So that was really the stalling point. But I think it ended up coming out dope because of that, though, because they're like, you'll have the whole transition where you start off as just like a normal motherfucker, and then by the end, you're all painted up and wicked and shit. And I'm like, I fuck with it.
For sure. You're on all platforms, right?
Yeah, I'm up on everything. The new single will get posted to all the platforms soon, too. I just wanted to keep it to YouTube for the people that really pay attention. They get it there first type shit. At least for like the single I just dropped, it's going to be a start. I do a single every month for this year if I can keep up on it. And it'll go to YouTube first. It'll have a nice little premiere. People can fuck around on there. And then it'll go to streaming shit after that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Fucking. Sorry, I'm all over the place tonight. Fucking,
You're all good.
I had a lot of shit on my mind.
I feel you.
But yeah, we'll have to get you back on here and go through like an in-depth.
Hell yeah, absolutely. And as you see, a lot of the cult is down to do it. We just got to lock in the time. And I'm trying. It's just hard to get these all these motherfuckers on the same page at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I feel you.
I do believe AZ said he was down too.
I remember working with Hatchet Man Project to get him on, and that was a hassle for a while, but I understood because there's so many of them motherfuckers.
Right.
definitely hard. And then they finally, they took time out of their like get together once a week studio
Right.
chord sessions to do it. So I was pretty thankful for that.
Yeah. That's why I'm just trying to find a
Definitely
night where
hard.
I can be like, we can get everybody. All you got to do is be on camera. You don't even got to meet up. We don't got to drive nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Fucking anytime next month would give us a decent amount of
Where
planning.
that's what I'm pushing for. I know so far they've said that the Valentine's Day weekend doesn't work for most. And other than that, they've seemed pretty open for those who have responded so far. Like I said, some motherfuckers is harder to get a hold of.
Right, right. But yeah, fucking, we'll keep in touch and shit and
Absolutely.
get you on here again for a more proper interview
Hey, it was fun though. Get high and talk some shit. That's what I'm about.
for sure. Well, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Like, my dogs are going fucking nuts in the next room.
Absolutely. You're good, bro.
I got 3 red nose.
Oh, nice. I got
They don't-
one.
They don't like to be alone.
I got one and a beagle and a bunch of cats.
A
And a
beagle?
spider
I haven't seen one of those in a minute.
and a beardy.
I used to have a giant bearded dragon.
A giant one?
Yeah. Fucker was flat as a pancake, dude. Like its belly and shit was just flat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she
Ours
was
is
cool.
still a baby and he's missing an arm, so his name's Stumpy.
Kind of rescued him.
Yeah, my wife works at a pet store and he got in a fight with another one of the little ones and ended up having to get his arm amputated. But he still lives normal as fuck. He crawls all around his shit, jumps after shit, chases bugs.
Well, for sure. Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming on here and I'll be in touch with you.
Absolutely, bro. Sounds good.
All right, much love, bro.
Much love. Be smooth.